Dragon Ball. Battle. Saiyan at the beginning. Chapter 51. Wait. Let me go first. Frieza and I still have some accounts to settle. Even if I am not his opponent now, I still want to fight him. Vegeta suddenly spoke at this time. Seeing that Vegeta was about to take action, Trunks had to retreat. His father was going to take action, so he could only give in. Son Goku couldn't help but raise his eyebrows, but he knew the pride of Prince Isaiah. If he didn't let him take action, he would probably hate him later and go to extremes. So he pulled Bulma, Son Gohan, and ties back dozens of meters, leaving the battlefield to Vegeta and Frieza, and the others also retreated one after another. Vegeta, do you really want to die? Okay, then I will help you. I will definitely kill you and let you know what despair is. Frieza's only target is Son Goku. He is not afraid that Son Goku will escape. It just so happens that these opponents have to come one by one, so he is happy to relax a little. It's still uncertain who will win or lose. Come on, Frieza, let me show you my progress. Ha! He didn't back down. He was a proud Saiyan prince. His eyes flashed with a strong fighting spirit. A crazy fighting spirit surged in his heart, and his whole body was full of blood. At this time, the fighting factor from the depths of the Saiyan blood seemed to be activated all of a sudden. Bang! Vegeta kicked the ground and flew towards Frieza at high speed. He wanted to get the chance to attack first. Interesting. It seems that you have made great progress in the past year or so. Looking at the figure galloping over, Frieza's eyes flashed with surprise, and the corners of his mouth condensed into a cruel smile, and he said, "Let me see how strong you are. Donma, test Vegeta's combat power." Donma on the side responded, and immediately used the large detector on the spacecraft to test it. Soon, the results of the detector appeared. Donma looked at the data above, his light golden eyes suddenly tightened, and he said in disbelief, 5 million. King Frieza, Vegeta's combat power has reached 5 million. 5 million combat power. Looks really good. Frieza chuckled, his eyes moved slightly, constantly looking around to capture Vegeta's figure, and every blade of grass and tree around him was in his sight. Bang! Vegeta started to attack, and a punch with great force was aimed at Frieza's chest. But at the moment of the attack, a hard claw firmly grabbed his wrist. What a fast speed! Vegeta's heart tightened. When his first attack failed, he immediately used his strength to escape. But it was too late. Frieza snorted coldly, and a huge force gushed out from his claws, throwing Vegeta out suddenly. Suddenly, Vegeta's figure shot out like a cannonball, and soon turned into a black dot in the sky. Vegeta, you are not Frieza's opponent yet. I hope this will make you understand the gap between you and Frieza, so don't force yourself to fight. Sun Wukong looked at Vegeta's flying figure and said softly. I don't think he will give up. If he gives up, he won't be Vegeta anymore. Daisy said with a smile, but her beautiful eyes watched Vegeta's flying figure nervously. That's right, he's just an awkward guy. The more you don't let him do something, the more he wants to do it. Bulma also said with a chuckle. After more than a year of getting along, she also understood a lot about Vegeta's personality. In short, he is a very awkward guy. Bulma picked up Son Gohan, who was only 6 years old, and stared at Son Goku tenderly, as if the three of them were a warm family of three. Wow, you three really look like a family of three. I'm so envious. Teus had already noticed the ambiguity between Bulma and Son Goku, and couldn't help but joked. It can be seen that although Vegeta is now at a disadvantage, Teus is at least not as worried as before. Seeing that Son Goku still looked indifferent, she guessed that this was not beyond his expectations. Stop. Vegeta was in the air, trying to stop. But Frieza's power was so great that he couldn't stop for a while. In the end, he could only crash into a hill, instantly smashing the hill into countless rocks. Swish. Vegeta calmed down, then carefully observed his surroundings, alert with all his heart and soul. Suddenly, a bloody breath was approaching him. He turned around cautiously, only to find that Frieza had appeared behind him without knowing when. Oh, Vegeta, you are quite skilled. You were able to block my attack. I can see that you have made great progress, but you are still not good enough. Frieza. Vegeta was furious and rushed over again. I wonder how long you can hold out. I don't like it, so you'd better get rid of it as soon as possible. You are not my opponent. As soon as the voice fell, the cold wind biting, and everything was silent. The sky suddenly changed color, the clouds disappeared completely, and the gloomy atmosphere was full of oppression. Below, the aliens who followed King Kurd were all trembling with fear. The breeze blew, blowing up dust, and dead branches and leaves fluttered in the wind. Frieza's body rushed frantically, and he immediately launched a fierce attack on Vegeta, who was rushing over. For a while, the sound of fists and feet hitting each other was endless, and two blurred figures kept flying, attacking extremely quickly. But Vegeta's, after all, his strength is not as good as Frieza's, and his speed is far from keeping up with Frieza's rhythm. It is said that all martial arts in the world are indestructible, except for speed. Speed is a prerequisite for fighting. Vegeta used almost all of his energy in every short fight, while Frieza seemed to be playing and was extremely relaxed. But even so, Vegeta was constantly at a disadvantage, while Frieza still looked calm and composed, and even his breathing did not change at all. Gritting his teeth, Vegeta suddenly laughed crazily, and a new wave of fighting began again. Frieza. Come again, awesome. Although Vegeta knew that he couldn't beat Frieza, he would not give up so easily. Boom. Boom. The air was still filled with a sour smell, but the thin clouds divided the blue sky into two parts, as beautiful as a dream. Puff. A mouthful of bloody swords spurted out. After Vegeta and Frieza collided several times, his body flew backwards again like a cannonball, rubbing violently with the surrounding air and making a rapid sound. Boom. Wherever the shock wave passed, forests and rivers were blocked one after another, and countless trees and vegetation were cut off and swept into the air. Frieza was about to continue chasing and killing, but he saw a strong finger light coming from a distance in an instant. The energy contained in it was very powerful, and even the indestructibility of it made him feel a little frightened. Frieza, you've already won. Vegeta is no match for you, why do you have to kill him? Besides, I'm here, you can't kill him at all. Come on. Son Goku's voice came faintly, causing Frieza to pause. The previous attack made Frieza feel as if he still couldn't block it, and this feeling was very unpleasant. However, he did not attack Vegeta, who was already lying on the ground. This Saiyan prince was not qualified to be his enemy. At this time, Trunks' figure flashed by, picked up Vegeta, who had already fainted, and returned to Son Goku. At this moment, Vegeta was seriously injured and dying. After Trunks put Vegeta down, he stared at Frieza with angry eyes. If Son Goku hadn't asked him to wait, he would have killed him long ago. Don't worry, you won't die, I'm here. Sun Wukong said softly. Fortunately, after Sun Wukong's 9-yang magic art reached the 4th level, its power increased a lot. Although it couldn't restore Vegeta all at once, it was no problem to save his life. Your look makes me very upset. Why do you want to test my strength? I can help you. Frieza was interrupted by Son Goku. He was angry. Seeing Trunks' eyes, he naturally wanted to kill him. This time it's my turn. You destroyed our planet Namek and killed so many of our people. I'm going to kill you to avenge them. Trunks was about to go out, but unexpectedly Piccolo got there first. He was also his senior, so he had no choice but to retreat. Oh, you also want to be killed by me earlier. But don't worry, I won't kill you, I still need you to find the dragon. The ability of you Namekians is really amazing, you should be grateful that you have this ability. Frieza said coldly. King Cold on the other side saw that Frieza had already started playing, so he simply asked his men to move out a chair and sit to watch Frieza take action, but his eyes were staring at Son Goku from time to time. He was also very afraid of the finger light just now, and he didn't know if it was Son Goku's strongest attack, so he planned to let Frieza take action first to measure the opponent's strength. Soon Piccolo and Frieza started fighting together. It must be said that Piccolo's combat effectiveness has increased a lot after the fusion of Naru, and Frieza was cautious and did not kill him. As a Namekian, Piccolo's recovery ability is super strong. He was constantly knocked down, but he kept recovering, which made King Cold, who was watching the battle, show a bit of shock. Boom. Piccolo was knocked out again, and then he stretched out his hands and stopped in midair again. His breath was much weaker than before, and he was panting heavily, and his eyebrows and eyes were already showing some fatigue. In sharp contrast to him, Frieza still looked relaxed and natural, without any fatigue at all. Frieza smiled evilly, and slowly floated over with his hands behind his back, and came to a place only a dozen meters away from Piccolo, looking at him with interest. The naturally powerful Ice Clan like Frieza, because they are born with powerful energy, especially like to watch other lives struggle for life and death, which makes them feel happy from the bottom of their hearts. Whoosh! Frieza's figure disappeared again, and he kicked Piccolo in the chest. Piccolo immediately put his hands across his chest and caught Frieza's kick. But while blocking the kick, Piccolo's face suddenly changed. Frieza's explosive power is not so easy to remove. Piccolo was kicked far away. If it weren't for Frieza, he showed mercy, and his body was strong enough, otherwise the kick just now would have broken both of his hands. What a strong force. Feeling his whole hand still numb, Piccolo gritted his teeth and persisted. Fighting force with force doesn't work, we can only seek other ways. Piccolo is very smart. As soon as he finished his thought, a layer of silver-gray light covered his eyes. After fighting for a while, Piccolo knew that he was no match for Frieza. He had to use his best tricks as soon as possible to have a chance. Magic Light Killing Cannon. Piccolo's fingers gathered huge energy and suddenly attacked. A stream of energy with a spiral of energy cut through the space, and with a slight whistling sound, it flew towards Frieza with great power. King Kurd, this green monster's energy combat power has reached 20 million. King Frieza. The alien who had been observing the battle suddenly changed his expression and reported to the Kurdish king. There's no need to make a fuss. This level of combat power can't hurt Frieza. King Kurd waved his hand. Boom. Frieza did not dodge and was directly hit by Piccolo's magic light cannon. In an instant, a powerful white light passed through Frieza's figure, and violent smoke and dust rose. The white light quickly passed through Frieza's position and pierced through the countless mountains behind him. Oh yeah, Uncle Piccolo's light kill cannon hit Frieza directly. He will definitely be seriously injured. Son Gohan is full of confidence in Piccolo, and believes that the power of Piccolo's magic light kill cannon can increase the combat effectiveness several times. Krillin and Yamcha were also very happy, thinking that energy of this intensity could at least injure Frieza. But Piccolo was not happy at all, his eyes were still fixed on the figure in the smoke. And Tien Shinhan's third eye was also concentrating on Frieza's figure. He could vaguely see that Frieza seemed to be fine, and his expression quickly froze. Sun Wukong watched from a distance, shook his head and said, "It still doesn't work. This level of energy can't hurt Frieza. Trunks, do you see where Frieza's limit is?" Son Goku's words stunned Bulma and Tais, who were originally excited. Although they were not martial artists, they knew how powerful Piccolo's attack was just now, but now they heard that he still couldn't hurt Frieza. The two of them looked at each other, and they also had some understanding of Frieza's strength. "Don't worry, I'm here for you." Seeing the two girls' worries, Sun Wukong smiled and comforted them. "Mr. Son Goku, this Frieza is stronger than before, almost as strong as me. It seems that a lot of changes have happened that I don't know about." Trunks' face became solemn. In his original memory, after he returned to the previous time and space, with his fighting power, he could easily help Vegeta and others to deal with Frieza, the great enemy. But now everything has changed differently. Son Goku came back early, his mother also returned to Earth, and Frieza's fighting power has become much stronger. Don't take everything in the past as the present. What you know will also change here. So, don't be surprised, don't worry, just do what I say. Son Goku naturally knew what Trunks meant. His crossing caused a lot of changes, especially now that Frieza's fighting power is no longer like in the original book where Trunks can kill him instantly. But Son Goku is stronger, and he doesn't care about Frieza and the others anymore. Okay, I understand, Mr. Son Goku. Trunks calmed himself down and said respectfully. Tisk tisk, your magic light cannon is quite powerful. But it just tickled me, it seems I am too soft-hearted. Although I won't kill you, I have to teach you a lesson. Frieza's expression suddenly became angry, he looked up at Piccolo, his eyes flashed with cold light, and his cold tone made Piccolo feel frightened. You did very well, very well. Now it's my turn. Frieza was furious, his figure flashed, and his right fist hit Piccolo with great force, and a powerful energy surged out. Bang! Under the impact of the powerful force, Piccolo's face was twisted in a hideous way, dense green veins appeared on his forehead, and beads of sweat kept appearing, and the corners of his mouth suddenly opened. Blood spurted out to form a blood mist that slowly disappeared, and his body was slightly arched like a shrimp, and his body was in a rising state. However, Piccolo still wanted to swing his right fist to attack Frieza in front of him. He didn't want to be defeated by the other party. Humph. An ant still wants to block my attack, how ridiculous. Frieza smiled coldly, stretched out his hands, and grabbed Piccolo's right hand with claws. The powerful force made Piccolo's whole arm feel like it was nailed by a steel needle, unable to move at all. As Frieza continued to exert force, the grabbed arm began to show a maroon color. Judging from the situation, if Piccolo didn't fight back, his right hand would be useless. Hiss. The severe pain made Piccolo's mouth twitch slightly, but Piccolo's left hand had been temporarily disabled by Frieza in the previous battle, so it was not easy for him to fight back. Suddenly, Piccolo's right leg brought up a burst of energy and kicked towards Frieza, trying to make Frieza let go of his arm. But Frieza would not be hit by Piccolo so easily. He had noticed when Piccolo attacked, and at the moment when Piccolo's right leg kicked out, the hands on Piccolo's right arm suddenly swung to the ground. At the same time, Frieza's body also fell to the side of Piccolo, and just like that, Piccolo's long-awaited attack failed under Frieza's pull, and did not cause any harm to Frieza at all. Instead, his body was completely controlled by Frieza. Bang! Piccolo's back hit the hard ground hard, and rocks flew everywhere. He was trapped at the bottom of the pit. Frieza's anger was not so easy to stop. His right knee hit Piccolo hard and landed steadily on him. The powerful force made Piccolo's whole body sink a little more, and the surrounding land also cracked in all directions. Poof! Several balls of blood spurted out of Piccolo's mouth. Piccolo's body was seriously injured by Frieza's fierce attacks, and his eyes were full of bloodshot, as if they were about to pop out. If he could turn his body over, Piccolo's back would have been badly damaged, and blood would have seeped into the ground. It can be said that Piccolo has lost his ability to fight now, and can only let the enemy slaughter him. All right, just lie there. You are no match for me at all. As Frieza spoke, a dazzling energy bomb gathered in his hand, and he aimed his right hand at Piccolo. At this time, a trace of horror appeared on Piccolo's face. Who is not afraid of death? It's just that everyone's reaction before death is different. However, Piccolo's facial expression just changed again and again, and in the blink of an eye it returned to calm. He was no longer afraid of the energy bomb in Frieza's hand, and it seemed that he no longer cared about life or death. Shua. A sound of breaking through the air was heard, and a powerful green energy shot out from Sun Wukong's hand again. HMPH. I knew you would do this again. A tall figure flashed by, and it was King Cold who stood in front of the finger light. He had been observing Sun Wukong's sneak attack for a long time. Frieza seemed to have known that King Cold would help him block Sun Wukong's sneak attack, and ignored it. But unexpectedly, as soon as King Cold touched the green energy wave, his whole body was penetrated, and he did not block the energy wave at all. What? How is this possible? How can it be so strong? King Cold endured the pain. What on earth is this? The green energy wave was extremely fast, and it passed through King Cold's body in a blink of an eye. Frieza was repelled by Goku before he was prepared, and the energy bombs gathered in his hands just now disappeared out of thin air. Frieza also noticed King Cold's situation, and he didn't dare to face this energy wave at all. Tisk! What energy wave? You are ignorant, this is my 6 Meridians divine sword. How is it? It works well. You are just pretending that you can block this with your body. Sun Wukong blew on the middle finger of his right hand and said disdainfully. Trunks flew to Frieza again, carried the seriously injured Piccolo back to Son Goku, and then faced Frieza. This time it was his turn to fight Frieza. Frieza, if you want revenge, you have to defeat the boy in front of you. After all, I am the boss now, and it is time for the situation to change. If you can't win, then I can't help you. Good luck to you. Sun Wukong smiled slightly, and that smug smile made Frieza hate it so much, but at this time he had to cheer up and face Trunks in front of him. Don't worry, I will kill him soon. No one can stop me from killing this time. Frieza sneered. Stop talking big, beat me first. I won't be merciful. Trunks said to Frieza with disdain, and his figure flashed, and he instantly leapt in front of Frieza. The difference in their fighting power is not big now. Frieza is much stronger than in the original work, and it is unlikely that Trunks can defeat him easily. Soon the two fought together, and the figures flashed very fast. Even Tien Shinhan's third eye could not see the movements of the two. At present, the only ones who can see the battle between Frieza and Trunks are Son Goku and King Cold. One smiled easily, and the other sneered, forming a very sharp contrast. Whoosh! A ray of light flashed, and Trunks suddenly disappeared from the spot, attacking Frieza with lightning speed. Frieza immediately started. He began to attack quickly. Bang! 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 Punches came one after another, both of them used their full strength, and the power fluctuations that erupted at this moment were dozens of times that of Vegeta and Piccolo before. It's just that the level of their performance was equal, one attack and one defense, the offense and defense were appropriate, and every move was sharp. The sound of fighting rang out in the sky, and the whole earth was shaking continuously, making Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, Krillin and others change their faces. This kind of battle was not something they could participate in at all, and they couldn't help but understand the strength of Piccolo and Vegeta. Piccolo, who was rescued by Son Goku, looked at Frieza with a gloomy face at this moment. He didn't expect Frieza to be so strong, as if he was just teasing him just now. Frieza is so strong. Piccolo was very dissatisfied, but there was nothing he could do. Don't worry, Trunks is stronger than Frieza, it's okay. Sun Wukong's words seemed to comfort Piccolo, and also comfort Taiz and Bulma. Trunks dived and rushed straight towards Frieza like a missile about to hit the target. The latter's face was stern, and a sense of danger suddenly emerged in his heart. You're looking for death. Saiyan monkey. When the two were about to make contact, Frieza clenched his fist and slammed towards Trunks. Retreat. Trunks' face changed when he saw the weight of the opponent's iron fist. He reacted decisively and nimbly, avoiding Frieza's counterattack. He supported himself with his hands and did more than a dozen backflips. Humph, Saiyan monkey, it's too late for you now, too late. A cold voice sounded in his ears. Frieza's dark red figure appeared in front of him, and Trunks' face changed slightly, surprised at the opponent's speed. Compared with the previous test, the power Frieza exerted now was completely different. At the critical moment, Trunks' eyes flashed, and he quickly adjusted his posture, crossed his arms tightly on his chest, and tried his best to prepare for Frieza's heavy blow. Bang! Like thunder, his body shook slightly, and a strong whirlwind radiated from the impact point to the surroundings, immediately rolling up strong winds and waves. Hiss! A weird smile climbed onto his face. Trunks shouted, turned his body over, and clawed at the ground with both hands. Boom boom, swished. 10 fingers poked into the ground, and 10 tiny holes were immediately grabbed out of the hard and heavy rock. At the same time, he turned his body sideways without stopping, stretched his feet straight, and kicked Frieza with all his strength. You can't take it head on. Frieza's face changed, and it was too late to dodge. With a bang, the rock area of the grip turned into fine dust, and Frieza was hit hard in the chest, and the whole person was kicked high into the air by the huge force. What a pleasure! What a pleasure! Trunks laughed loudly, his heart surging. It was rare for him to fight so happily. The battle just now made his blood boil. The power displayed by Frieza was on par with his own. This gave him a rare experience. And this experience benefited him a lot. With a whoosh, Trunks was as fast as the wind and attacked Frieza again. Only the sound of bangs could be heard. Trunks' attacks hit the flesh, and for a while Frieza was beaten without any chance to fight back. However, Sun Wukong could also see that although Trunks had the upper hand, it was not so easy to defeat Frieza. Frieza was indeed a genius of the Ice Demon clan. He did not have much combat experience in the past. He usually just used his stronger strength to crush his opponent. But at this moment, in the battle with Trunks, his combat power actually began to grow again. On the other hand, Trunks had fought against the weak and the strong in the future time and space, and had fought against the androids countless times. Naturally, he had a lot of combat experience. But his use of chi was relatively rough. Although he was stronger than Frieza, he was not much better. It seems that their fight will not end so soon. Bulma, do you and Taiz want to go into the spaceship to rest? It is boring to watch them fight. Sun Wukong said. He thought it was better to leave the fighting to men. Anyway, they had no fighting power and could not see the figures of the two people in the battle. He was also thinking about the two of them. No, I'll stay here. I don't know why, but I have a very familiar feeling towards this boy. Daisy shook her head stubbornly. Bulma, who was holding Son Goku's left hand, had already made her decision clear with her expression. Well, it's up to you. But I have to fight too, and end this meaningless battle as soon as possible. We have more troubles next. Sun Wukong shrugged, and then said to King Cold, "Hey, you followed Frieza to the earth, you didn't just come to see it. I think it's our turn now, how about you transform, otherwise I'll beat you to death, and you won't accept it." Wow, since you know my name, it seems that you are not an ordinary person. You must be the Monkey King who almost killed Frieza. Do you know the consequences of offending our Ice Demon clan? King Kurd stood up calmly and stared at the Monkey King in front of him. There was no emotion in his icy pupils, just like a high and mighty god who did not take a mere human being seriously. His voice was plain, but it made people feel a chill unconsciously, as if they were in a world of ice and snow, and they couldn't help shivering all over. Monkey King smiled indifferently, and a whirlwind rose from under his feet, dragging his body into the air and staying at the same height as King Kurd. King Kurd, since I dare to kill you, I must have something to rely on. To be honest, I don't take your little power seriously. In my eyes, you frozen demons are no different from clowns. Sun Wukong said sarcastically to King Kurd. Very good, very good. Regardless of whether what you said is true or false, you dare to do this to Frieza, and say such words to me, which shows that you are very brave. Perhaps you are ignorant and don't know how terrifying I am, but you will pay the price for your ignorance. King Cold's face became even colder, and a murderous aura burst out, instantly lowering the surrounding temperature to below freezing. Then he showed a hint of smile, with a dangerous breath like a poppy. Those who dared to speak to me like this in the past have all been sent to hell by me, and you are no exception. Sun Wukong shook his head, and the aura on his body burst out directly, suppressing King Cold's aura back. Not far behind him were Bulma and the two girls, so of course they had to be protected. It was your mistake that you failed to see the enemy's strength at first glance. It seems that you are destined to be a super supporting actor. Since you don't want to transform, then don't transform. You are really a qualified supporting actor. Sun Wukong smiled lightly, and after saying this, he raised his right hand and poked it through the air. In an instant, a blue light suddenly appeared, and then a brilliant flash of light cut through the void, aiming at the chest of the Kurdish king. Hey, what's going on? Looking at the brilliant blue light that suddenly appeared, the Kurdish king's face was stunned for a moment, and then a dangerous signal rose in his heart. He will die. The strong warning made the Kurdish king suddenly feel the taste of death. At the moment when the light fell, the Kurdish king's body flew up quickly, dodging the blue light of Sun Wukong by a hair's breadth. Whoosh! The blue light penetrated and directly hit the huge spaceship. The spaceship did not explode, but was split into two halves along with the space. Puff! Blood and flesh splattered, and bright red liquid fell from the sky like raindrops. Along with the blood, a large flesh-colored tail also fell. Ah! How is it possible? The Kurdish king felt a pain and his face became distorted. What on earth is going on? Kurd king roared in pain and violence. The opponent's attack was very strange. If he hadn't moved fast enough, he might have been cut in half by the opponent's blue light. Such a horror, even with the strong vitality of the Frozen clan, he would not be willing to die. Even if King Kurd normally has a combat power of 150 million, such combat power is still not enough for Sun Wukong. Before he could exert all his strength, he might have died. If he hadn't dodged fast enough, he might have been killed by the opponent. If that happened, his death would be too miserable. Donma, quickly detect the opponent's combat power for me. King Kurd yelled in frustration. He became very impatient because he lost his tail. Fortunately, the tail of the Frozen clan is like the tail of a gecko, and it can grow again as it transforms. Yes, King Kurd. The cosmic man who had just escaped a disaster responded in a hurry after receiving the order, and immediately ordered his subordinates to turn on the large energy detector on the planet. However, before Donma could transmit the opponent's combat value, King Kurd began to prepare to transform. He knew that his normal state was no longer the opponent of the human opposite. It's too late. I asked you to transform just now, but you didn't. How can I let you transform so easily now? Even if I let you transform, you have to have fun. With a slight smile, Sun Wukong's body moved quickly, and a series of blurry afterimages formed a series of straight lines. Sun Wukong suddenly came in front of the Kurdish king, quickly stretched out his palm and grabbed the two horns on the top of the Kurdish king's head, and then pulled hard. The Kurdish king's face suddenly became panicked, but the palm as hard as steel held his horns tightly like an iron clamp, and he couldn't shake it off at all. With a clang, the black horn was suddenly broken into two sections by Sun Wukong's single hand, and the severe pain was transmitted to the brain through the nerves on the top of the head. Ah! I will kill you. The Kurdish king's eyes suddenly burst into tears and he roared in grief and anger. He was very angry with Sun Wukong. So strong. Is this Goku's progress? He hasn't transformed like Trunks yet, is he already so strong? Krillin was shocked to see that Goku hadn't transformed into a Super Saiyan like Trunks yet, and his hair was still black. At least he had seen Goku like that on Namek, and now he didn't need to transform into a Super Saiyan to fight King Cold, and he was able to do it with ease. He immediately felt much calmer. Gohan's little face was full of excitement, and he clenched his little fists. Dad, come on. Pico and Tien Shinhan stared at Son Goku. As former rivals, they seemed to not be able to feel where Son Goku's limit was. They couldn't help but sigh together, feeling that the gap between them and Son Goku was getting wider and wider. But both of them were arrogant, especially Piccolo, who secretly vowed in his heart that he must catch up with Son Goku again. After breaking the Kurdish king's horns, Sun Wukong obviously felt that it was not enough, and then he beat the Kurdish king like a sandbag. All that could be heard was the continuous, bang bang bang, sound of beatings in the air. The Kurdish king had no time to come to his senses, and he was beaten again, his eyes were dazzled, and his brain seemed to be a mess. Suddenly, there was a loud, bang, and Sun Wukong's iron fist hit the Kurdish king's abdomen hard. The sound of breaking made the Kurdish king's bloodshot eyes bulge outward, his abdomen was hit with a dent, and his back was high. The white sand armor was completely shattered, covered with fine cracks. Oh! The Kurdish king who was knocked away wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He had never been beaten like this before. He felt a strong sense of humiliation in his heart while feeling grief and anger. But Sun Wukong didn't seem to have any intention of killing him at this time. Instead, he ravaged the Kurdish king more fiercely. With a crash, the Kurdish king's body suddenly flew out diagonally like an arrow shot out, scraping the ground. The strong force scraped up the thick layer of soil and dug a deep trench dozens of meters long. While knocking the Kurdish king away, Sun Wukong flashed even faster, whoosh, and suddenly appeared next to the Kurdish king again, flying parallel to the Kurdish king's body for a while. Then he raised his foot and kicked upwards, kicking the Kurdish king high up like a football as if he were playing a soccer game. The violent energy once again poured into the Kurdish king's body, and the tremendous force acted instantly. Ah! The Kurdish king screamed and turned into a huge rocket that flew into the sky. It quickly accelerated to a very high speed. Because of its high speed, even the top of the rocket was glowing red. At this moment, the thin clouds were instantly pierced, turning into a series of ripples that seemed to be there and not there. Swish! Sun Wukong's figure had arrived outside the atmosphere at some point, and then he aimed at the oncoming red dot and raised his fist high. Get out of here! Bang! A heavy punch came down, and blood suddenly burst out from the Kurdish king's facial features. It fell like a meteor again. There was a loud rumbling sound, and the huge impact was like a nuclear explosion of tens of tons. The hard diamond-like star was hit by the huge force, and a dark and deep pit was directly penetrated. The splashing mud and sand radiated out in an instant. Whoosh, 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 the fine sand accelerated like a projectile, and everything along the way was punched with tiny holes. As the smoke and dust gradually dissipated, a huge impact crater with a diameter of 1 kilometer suddenly appeared. King Kurdish King. All the cosmic people were shocked. Quick, turn on the energy detector immediately to see how strong that guy is. In the distance, Donma, who was in a state of shock, came to his senses and immediately gave instructions angrily. Yes, yes. The aliens below also came back to their senses, and they were busy operating the large equipment beside them. Looking at the vast land that had turned into scorched earth, Donma felt unprecedented uneasiness in his heart. In just a blink of an eye, the great King Kurd in their eyes was severely ravaged by the other party. This was something he had never dared to imagine, and no one in the entire galaxy could do it. It was like a devoutly revered god was suddenly knocked off the altar. For the believers who were loyal to the gods, it was a devastating blow. Could it be that the ugly Saiyan was really more terrifying than the King Kurd? No, the king is invincible in the universe. How can a mere Saiyan compare to King Kurd? But everything in front of him made Donma doubt again. So he urged his cosmic man in a stern voice, "It's not ready yet, turn on the energy detector quickly." "Lord Donma, it will be fine soon. Quick, check out the Saiyan's fighting power." The electrons flashed a few times, and the energy of King Kurd and Sun Wukong, who were fighting in the distance, was displayed on the big screen. The Saiyan's combat power is 500 million. The alien operating the energy detector suddenly felt his soul trembling, and his voice was shaking. 500 million. How could it be so high? Looking at the data displayed on the screen, Donma didn't know how to describe his feelings at the moment. The combat power of our King Kurd is only 150 million. But this Saiyan has reached 500 million. Donma's eyes widened. The other cosmic people were similar. They were all stunned when they saw this incredible data. The scene fell into dead silence. After a long time, the chattering of discussions began to sound, and everyone's heart was filled with a feeling of frustration. "Come on, check the king's fighting power now." Donma shouted hurriedly. "Yes, let's see how powerful the king is." "Yes." So a technician quickly shifted the detection target, and soon a string of violently fluctuating data appeared on the big screen. It was a data that changed rapidly from low to high, which also meant that the combat effectiveness of the Kurdish king was constantly improving. 150 million, 200 million, 500 million. King Kurd's combat power rose rapidly like a rocket. He seized the opportunity to transform, so the speed of improvement was also very fast. In a blink of an eye, King Kurd's value had risen to more than 500 million, and it continued to rise. On the big screen, King Kurd's combat power was temporarily fixed at 500 million. This change only took 2 or 3 seconds. At this moment, all the cosmic people seemed to be riding a roller coaster, jumping from the bottom of the valley to the horizon in an instant, and the fluctuations in their hearts were intense. Great! The fighting power of King Kurd is 500 million. Now the Saiyan monkey is dead. King Kurd's subordinates cheered, because if King Kurd failed, they, the cosmic people, would be in trouble. He is indeed the king of Kurdish, so powerful that it makes people tremble. And he has not yet completed all the transformations. I am afraid he will be even stronger later. In the distant battlefield, Sun Wukong was suspended in midair, looking at the bottomless pit on the ground from afar, feeling the strong aura rising around him. He did not take action to stop it, but gave the Kurdish king time to exert his full strength. The king is almost done with his transformation. When a person falls from heaven to hell, what does it feel like? Sun Wukong licked his lips and thought, for the evil frozen clan, simply ravaging them physically is not enough. He wants to destroy the Kurdish king from his whole body and mind. Under the deep cracked abyss, the Kurdish king was constantly transforming with a gloomy face. Because he was afraid that the other party would attack again, the Kurdish king took emergency transformation. The state of lifting the transformation was not complete, and a large part of the energy was not released. Don't worry. Take your time, I won't bother you this time, just transform with peace of mind. I don't even need to transform into a Super Saiyan to deal with you. Sun Wukong shook his finger and ignored the king of Kurd. Saiyan, I won't let you go. If I had known, I should have let Frieza kill you all. With a loud shout, King Cold finally completed his transformation. At this moment, the rich energy created a scattered smoke, and when the energy dissipated, a taller figure appeared in front of Sun Wukong. Sure enough, he can transform. I said this guy couldn't be that simple. But, looking at the tall body of the Kurdish king, Sun Wukong laughed. You, a Saiyan, actually gave me time to transform. I have to tell you that this will be your biggest mistake. The Kurdish king smiled evilly. Perhaps because of the powerful force in his body, his tone once again became calm and elegant, without the previous exasperation. Don't you need to continue transforming? This doesn't seem to be your full strength yet. Sun Wukong asked. It's enough to deal with a Saiyan monkey like you. King Kurd said confidently. You are so arrogant indeed. It seems that you, the Ice Clan, can never change this bad habit. Sun Wukong said, shaking his head. The same sentence also applies to the Saiyans. It seems that as long as they are powerful races in the Dragon Ball world, they all have this problem to a greater or lesser extent. King Kurd said nothing, but turned to his subordinates and said, Donma, how much combat power does this Saiyan have? King Kurd floated in the sky with his hands folded across his chest. His manner was elegant and calm. The meaning of a strong man looking down on the common people could not be more obvious. At this time, he was as powerful as a god. King Kurd, that Saiyan's combat power is 500 million energy. 500 million. This is a huge number. No wonder I am not your opponent under normal circumstances. But you will soon pay the price for your stupidity. King Kurd rubbed his chin with his hand, his scarlet eyes opened, and a disgusting dark aura emanated from his body. Sun Wukong frowned. He didn't like the aura that King Kurd exuded. It's really a case of the top beam being crooked. No wonder Frieza is as shameless as you, your clown-like performance is really disgusting. Forget it, I'm going to kill you in the end anyway, so I won't give you any time to perform. Sun Wukong said, preparing to take action. Really? Let me see how powerful you are. Don't think that just because you have a combat power of 500 million, you can be my opponent. King Kurd shouted, and the energy in his body continued to rise, because the conversation just now was enough for him to untie all the shackles on his body. Rumble, lightning and thunder. In the blink of an eye, up to 600 million energies were fully exerted, and the vast and cold breath instantly enveloped the entire planet. The originally dark blue sky suddenly became dark, and crystal arcs shuttled between the clouds, and then continued to strike straight down. The whole Earth seemed to have entered the countdown to doomsday. In the distance, countless humans on Earth began to panic. They didn't understand what terrible things had happened, and they walked out of the house, feeling extremely scared. Seeing that King Kurd had completely released his power, Sun Wukong was silent. After a while, he shouted, and his whole body immediately rose with a golden and terrible aura like burning. Super Saiyan transformation. In an instant, the black hair turned golden, and a pair of dark eyes immediately turned into a calm green. There was no emotion in the calm pupils, and the calm green like the lake was full of coldness. As Sun Wukong transformed into a Super Saiyan, his fighting power also changed dramatically. Instantly, a more powerful change occurred, lightning flashed, and the wind and clouds suddenly changed. The majestic energy was like a mountain pressing directly on the body of the Kurdish king. At this moment, the Kurdish king felt uneasy again. How could the hair turn into gold? How could there be such a strong energy fluctuation? Is the Super Saiyan really that strong? King Kurd was shocked. At this time, the energy detector in the distance exploded directly. After a burst of black smoke, dozens of cosmic people were almost all killed. What? This is impossible. How much combat power does he have? How could this large detector explode? King Kurd and Frieza, who was in the battle, were all shocked. This large energy detector could detect a maximum combat power of 1 billion, but at this moment. Death energy beam. With a loud shout, King Kurd pushed forward with both palms, and suddenly countless red energy bullets shot out, like arrows with long tails, rushing towards Sun Wukong not far away. At the same time, King Kurd was also ready, his body turned into a stream of light, and flew towards outer space. Because most of the life forms in the universe cannot survive in a vacuum environment, as long as he enters space, his hope of survival will greatly increase. This is King Kurd's purpose. Frieza on the other side also began to look for opportunities to get rid of Trunks. He knew that this journey of revenge was a complete failure, and he had to continue to practice before he had a chance to take revenge. But Trunks also saw Frieza's plan, and his attack became more fierce, holding Frieza steadily, and he couldn't spare any attention to perform other actions. How come there are other Super Saiyans? This is impossible. I should have killed them all back then. You kid. Frieza now regrets that he didn't kill those Saiyans back then. Now he can't save himself. Frieza, Stop struggling in vain. Mr. Son Goku is so strong, you won't have a chance to escape. Trunks was very happy. Seeing such a powerful Son Goku, he was more confident in his goal. Wukong is so strong. He was able to force the opponent to flee, and it seems that this King Cold is stronger than Frieza. I really don't know how Wukong trained. Krillin said with some envy and frustration. Seeing his fellow disciples getting stronger and stronger, while he himself can't catch up, you can imagine how he feels. But the more depressed and unwilling are Tien Shinhan and Piccolo. They used to have a golden stage with Son Goku, but now they can only helplessly watch Son Goku getting stronger and stronger. It seems that it is time to merge with the god again. Only in this way can I become a Super Namekian. I will not give up, Son Goku. Piccolo has already thought of how to continue to improve his strength. Originally, he did not want to merge with the god, but now the pressure brought by Son Goku is too great, so he had to move up the plan. On the other side, the Kurdish king finally escaped from outer space and was overjoyed. Saiyan monkey, let's see what you can do to me this time. You don't have the talent to fight in a vacuum environment. No matter how strong you are, you can only watch me leave. King Kurd never thought that one day he would be so happy to escape from others. He probably never dreamed of escaping. You are so naive. I think you have no chance to take revenge. Let me send you to hell. Just when King Kurd thought he had escaped, a chilling voice somehow reached his ears. In fact, as long as the power is strong enough, many life forms can achieve some seemingly unreasonable things with their excellent ability to control the air. For example, in the original work, when Sun Wukong just set foot on Namek, he only touched Krillin's head to know what happened on Namek. Of course, we can also think that this was a mistake made by Akira Toriyama when he was drawing, but after Sun Wukong himself came to the Dragon Ball world, he combined his actual feelings and realized that in fact, Sun Wukong in the original work read the brain wave signal with his powerful sense of air. And now he is also transferring energy by manipulating the fluctuations of space, and then releasing energy to agitate the eardrum, so as to achieve the effect of transmitting sound to King Kurd's ears. This was actually created by him imitating the sound transmission over 1,000 miles in the martial arts world. Even in a vacuum world, sound can be transmitted. This is also an extension of his spatial ability in teleportation. Sure enough, when King Kurd suddenly heard his voice, his body suddenly froze, and then he turned back in disbelief, only to see the Super Saiyan shining with golden light floating easily not far from him. How is it possible? You can actually survive in a vacuum. The Kurdish king opened his mouth and could only express his surprise in a sporadic manner. Whoosh! A blurry afterimage flashed by, and when it reappeared, Sun Wukong was less than 1 meter away from the Kurdish king. The cold blue eyes made the Kurdish king feel a chill in his heart, and his body suddenly trembled, and a sense of fear surged from the bottom of his heart. Suddenly, a huge force came from the tail, and Sun Wukong grabbed the Kurdish king's tail and began to swing it left and right like a whip. Bang! 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 Countless hard meteorites in the space flew at high speed, collided violently with the Kurdish king's body, and were then smashed to pieces by this hard body. Some of the larger ones were directly broken into 2 halves, and the harder ones were beaten away. Because Sun Wukong even divided a part of his energy to strengthen the flying meteorites every time he swung the Kurdish king, so every time the Kurdish king smashed down, it was like being hit on a hard gold ore. Soon, the Kurdish king was beaten by Sun Wukong and screamed. Soon, his skin was bruised and his face was swollen. There were lumps all over his body, and blood was flowing from his nose and lips. Just like the previous normal state, the Kurdish king was ravaged without any ability to fight back. This time it was even worse. He was like an ant fighting a giant, and he was constantly abused. It actually broke free and flew away. This guy is really willing to give up. This is the second time his tail has been shortened. Haha. Sun Wukong looked at the purple-red figure that was ejected, and felt his hand lighten. He looked down and saw a huge tail still in his hand. The Kurdish king's tail, sacrificing the rook to save the king. Interesting. Sun Wukong was stunned for a moment, then smiled, and suddenly a red qigong wave rose up, turning the entire tail into ashes. After practicing the 9 yang magic art, The qigong wave he emitted turned red, with some flames in it. Whoosh! Only a vague afterimage of Sun Wukong was left on the spot, and he flew towards the Kurdish king again. But, I have never been humiliated like this. I will definitely take revenge. King Kurd cursed in his heart, but his mouth was bitter. He was the king of the universe, but he was thrown around like a dead dog and constantly ravaged. In the past, he would only do this when dealing with those weak races. However, things have changed, and the Frozen Demon clan has fallen into such a situation. Super Saiyan. Is what our ancestors said true? Super Saiyan is the nemesis of our clan. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like the roar of a demon from the abyss. King Kurd's blood-red eyes were full of hatred. He swore that if he could escape this time, he would repay all the hatred. At the same time, he felt a little regretful in his heart. If he had asked Frieza to wipe out the roots, perhaps he would not have suffered today. No, this is all Frieza's fault. If he had killed all the Saiyan monkeys earlier and eliminated him before he woke up, there wouldn't be the current situation at all. The corners of King Kurd's mouth trembled, and his face was as black as the bottom of a pot. King of Kurd, where are you going? Why don't you just accept your death? You can't run away. Sun Wukong's nightmare-like voice sounded again. Oh no. How can he be so fast? King Kurd showed a trace of panic, ignoring the pain on his body, and quickly flew towards an asteroid belt surrounded by stars. As long as he hides in the asteroid belt, the opponent will not be able to find him. It is indeed possible to judge others by oneself. However, King Kurd did not know that his opponent actually had the ability to sense breath. Even if he hid at the edge of the universe, as long as Sun Wukong remembered his breath, he could find him at any time. A bright ray of light streaked across the dark starry sky. Looking at the asteroid belt getting closer and closer, the Kurdish king was overjoyed. He quickly hid behind an asteroid. Because he was facing away from the sun, it was extremely dark here. As long as he didn't emit a strong energy beam, Kurd was confident that no one could find him. Humph, now I am finally safe. I never thought that this great king would have such an embarrassing day. Don't be complacent. I must practice hard after returning. It only takes 2 years, no, only 1 year, and I can surpass him. That will be the time for my revenge. King Kurd clenched his fist and swore fiercely. This time he was really scared, and he was really determined to continue to practice well. The severe pain from the wound on the broken tail behind him made his whole face look hideous and distorted. The talents of the frozen demons are very good. Although King Kurd is not as good as the two brothers Frieza and Gyula, as long as he is given a year, he believes that he can completely reach the level of Son Goku, and revenge will only be a matter of time. But how could he know that? Son Goku's combat power has reached 1.5 billion in normal state, and after transforming into a Super Saiyan, it has stably reached 75 billion, so King Kurd is still far behind, and even in 10 years, he may not be able to surpass Son Goku. What's more, the current Son Goku will only be stronger than before, and he has no chance at all. Just take advantage of the moment to be proud. This is the only chance you have. The Kurdish king said with hatred. But at this moment, an accident happened. I saw a series of colorful crystal clear light flashing by, like a thin cicada wing, sweeping over from thousands of kilometers away. Puff, puff. The meteorite space within a range of thousands of kilometers turned into dust bit by bit. The huge meteorites were not destroyed in the physical structure, but were split into two at the spatial level. The Kurdish king was also swept by these colorful lights. He looked at his chest in disbelief, looking at the dozens of holes in his chest like a machine gun. His body was instantly pierced into a sieve, leaving only dozens of wound holes. Scarlet blood spurted out, and the Kurdish king was almost broken into two by such an attack. You are so naive, do you think you can avoid me like this? Sun Wukong's voice came again. My body was actually penetrated. How? How is this possible? Did he find me? Or was it luck? Yes, it must be luck. I don't believe he can find me. The Kurdish king was stunned, and then a sharp pain came from his nerve endings. Quote. Ah. Hey, I found you. What? Don't hide anymore, it's so fun, let's play hide and seek together. Shengyang's sword. A cold and indifferent voice came, and Sun Wukong appeared in front of King Kurd with an expressionless face. He raised his hand, and a force that contained the power of destroying the world shot out, directly destroying Frieza's lower body from a distance of thousands of meters, without even leaving a cell. King Cold, your death has come. Give up, you don't have any chance. With the cold verdict, Sun Wukong took a look at this extremely eye-catching villain in the original Dragon Ball. It can be said that the character of King Cold is the most overrated. He was originally thought to be very strong, but was solved by Trunks in a few moves. If he hadn't let King Cold transform, no one would know his true strength, but the ending would still not change. Immediately, Sun Wukong's hands formed into a calyx shape, and at this moment a dense and terrifying aura suddenly began to gather in his hands, and soon generated a touch of red light. Under the influence of the powerful energy, the surrounding space began to become distorted. How could I die in the hands of a Saiyan monkey like you? I won't accept this. The veins on King Kurd's head surged, his eyes were bloodshot, and blood spurted from the corners of his mouth. He tried to resist the person in front of him. Kamehameha. With Sun Wukong's loud shout, he pushed his hands forward, and a red qigong wave suddenly shot out, rushing forward with a terrifying force like a broken bamboo. This king cannot die. The Kurdish king shouted loudly with a twisted voice. Death Jet. The blood-red energy sprayed out desperately, and a large area of dazzling energy began to surge with the Kurdish king as the center like a pot of boiling water. The pressure in the center suddenly increased, and a giant energy ball rose into the air, rushing forward with a surging momentum. Boom, boom. The extremely violent energy moved like an electric snake, instantly penetrating the void. The two energies that were enough to destroy the world met in the asteroid belt in an instant. The scorching and chaotic energy immediately entangled together, destroying the originally balanced order in a very short time, and pushing all the meteorites far away. Puff. King Kurd's death jet was instantly defeated by the huge impact of Kamehameha. King Kurd's face was crazy, and he began to use all his strength, but it was still useless. On the other hand, Sun Wukong still had a calm face and looked relaxed and comfortable. Suddenly, the energy in his hands suddenly increased. In the face of King Kurd's horrified expression, the red energy swallowed him. A colorful explosion broke out in the asteroid belt full of meteorites. Everything was like the beginning of the world, falling into chaos and uncertainty. Done. You are destined to be just a bystander. Sun Wukong confirmed again and again that the Kurdish king was dead, and then he prepared to return to Earth. We should go back quickly. We can't fully exert our combat power in space. It seems that Saiyans still have many weaknesses. Only by becoming a god can these weaknesses be eliminated. At this time, Sun Wukong thought of becoming a god, becoming a Super Saiyan god, but in that case, the subsequent improvement in strength would be different. It can be said that there are two different ways of evolution. One is the Super Blue series, and the other is the Super Saiyan Bloodline series. The two roads made Sun Wukong a little difficult to choose. Forget it, I don't think about it for now. I haven't even reached the full power of Super 1 yet, so I'd better go back first. I'm not used to being here. Thinking of this, Sun Wukong immediately flew to the earth. When he returned to the ground, he found that Frieza had been cut into dozens of pieces by Trunks, and the battle was over long ago. Oh my god, it's over so soon. Frieza is too weak. It seems that Dr. Gero's computer has obtained Frieza's cells. What a pity. Forget it, let Cell come out, otherwise the plot will not be perfect. Cell, you should be able to help me break through to Super Saiyan 2. Maybe Gohan and the others can also break through to Super Saiyan 2 together. Cell is a very good trial stone. Sun Wukong looked at Frieza's mechanical body thoughtfully. Vegeta had also woken up at this time. He was worthy of being the Saiyan Prince. After waking up this time, Vegeta's combat power increased again, at least to 10 million. This made Sun Wukong wonder if his 9-yang magic skill could also improve the combat power of others, otherwise how could his combat power increase so much at once? Boy, can you tell me who you are now? Why are you here? Vegeta seemed to be arguing with Trunks, and asked him as soon as he woke up. Poor Trunks, facing his father, didn't dare to speak at all, and was timid and didn't say a word for a long time. Okay, Vegeta, don't push him. I want to talk to him, and you'll know what's going on later. Sun Wukong saw Trunks in trouble and hurried out to help him. Otherwise, with Vegeta's personality, he might really fight with Trunks, and then it would be a mess. Kakarot, do you know something? Why can't you tell me now? Vegeta was of course very upset with Son Goku's mysterious attitude. I've already told you later, do you still want to know the secret of the Super Saiyan? Seeing that Vegeta was endless, Sun Wukong directly threw out the last resort. Sure enough, when Vegeta heard the secret of the Super Saiyan, he immediately stopped asking. In his heart, only the Super Saiyan was the most worthy of pursuit. Sun Wukong brought Trunks to a place hundreds of meters away from the crowd, and then said softly, I know you have a lot of questions, such as how do I know your name, right? Trunks stared at Sun Wukong and nodded seriously, yes, your current situation is a little different from what I know. No, not just a little, but a big difference. How do you know my name, and it seems that you also know where I came from? At this point, Trunks hesitated. From the future, right? You really know. But, this is impossible, right? How do you know this? Trunks was shocked. It's very simple. When I was on the planet Yodrat, the wise man there helped me predict some future events. I saw you from the future, and Frieza and the others would come to seek revenge. Even more, the wise man showed me the rebellion of the future androids, number 17 and no. 18. Sun Wukong naturally couldn't say that he was a time traveler, so he could only blame everything on the mysterious wise man of Yodrat. Anyway, they couldn't ask him about it. Yes, I am indeed from the future world. There, androids kill and destroy the Earth, and no one is their opponent. My father Vegeta, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan, Krillin, were all killed, and after Piccolo died, the dragon of the Earth also died, so no one can be resurrected. A few years ago, brother Son Gohan was also killed by them, and I am no match for them alone, so I want to go back to the past and find you, Mr. Son Goku, hoping that you can find the weakness of the androids so that I can destroy them. What Trunks said was almost the same as in the original work, but the more he said this, the more surprised Son Goku was. What about me? I won't be killed by the androids, will I? Sun Wukong was shocked. Why didn't Trunks say anything about him? Did he really die of a viral heart disease like in the original novel? This is impossible. He is now practicing the Nine-Yang magic skill, and his body is very strong inside and out. It is impossible for him to have a heart attack like in the original novel. Could it be that time and space have reversed the changes that occurred after my appearance? Could it be that I was wiped out by the rules of time and space before that? Otherwise, I would not have had this viral heart disease again. Sun Wukong fell into deep thought. Mr. Son Goku did not participate in the battle. You had a sudden viral heart attack before the androids appeared. Even the Senzu beans are powerless against this kind of heart disease. And because your energy is too strong, even Shenlong can't cure your heart disease. Trunks said regretfully. He felt helpless that Son Goku could not appear. Otherwise, with his current combat power, such a situation would never happen in the future. No way, even the dragon can't do anything. I wanted to make a wish, asking the dragon to cure this heart disease. Sun Wukong was speechless. He thought of a story. A long time ago, there was a guy who practiced iron shirt and was invulnerable to swords and guns, but he still died. Because he had appendicitis, the doctor couldn't even cut his skin, and he died in pain. Could it be the same for me? The defense of the Vajra indestructible divine art is too strong, and the energy of the dragon cannot break my defense, so there is no way to heal me. This thing has both advantages and disadvantages. Sun Wukong couldn't do anything about this. He couldn't disperse the Vajra indestructible divine art. Besides, he didn't know if this was the reason, and he had traveled through time and space to Sun Wukong's body, so the possibility of viral heart disease was very high. Just as Sun Wukong was trying to find a way to eliminate the hidden danger of this heart disease. Trunks seemed to see Sun Wukong's doubts and said, Mr. Sun Wukong, please don't worry. Although the dragon cannot cure your heart disease, in the future time and space, we humans have developed a special medicine to cure viral heart disease. This is also the main reason why I returned to this time and space. I want to hand this to you so that you can get through this difficult time when you have a heart attack in 3 years. Only you can save the Earth. After speaking, Trunks took out a small medicine bottle and handed it to Sun Wukong in person. His expression was very serious. This was his greatest hope. Is this a miracle drug? Will it work? Sun Wukong took the small medicine bottle and couldn't help but mutter in his heart. He had a hunch that this viral heart disease should be strengthened as his strength increased. At his level, his intuition was usually very accurate. So he could only make up his mind to find other ways while taking the miracle drug. Otherwise, he didn't die at the hands of others, but died of this heart disease. That would not be fun. Don't worry, I will keep it well. It's ready for a rainy day. How can I be missing in the wonderful future? Sun Wukong said seriously, this is related to his life. Then Mr. Son Goku, I am going to go back to the future and see you in 3 years. After Trunks handed the medicine to Son Goku, his mission was completed. He also met his father Vegeta and his mother Tais, and he was very satisfied. You don't want to say goodbye to Tais and Vegeta. No, my father is a very proud person, he will definitely want to continue to ask me about my affairs. I don't know how to answer him, so it's better to go back directly. Mr. Sun Wukong, please don't tell my parents the truth about me yet, I'm afraid that history will change because of it, and I won't exist anymore. Trunks stared at Tais deeply, and said reluctantly. Don't worry, you are one of the few Saiyans. I won't let you disappear. And I will give you a big surprise in the future. Wait. Sun Wukong smiled. Surprise. Trunks was stunned. Since it is a surprise, I certainly cannot tell you for the time being. You will know when you come here in 3 years. Sun Wukong smiled mysteriously. Okay then. I'll be leaving first, you help me say goodbye to everyone, uncle-in-law. Trunks smiled mischievously, and then went to the spaceship in the distance. Son Goku also returned to where the crowd was, but Piccolo stared at him with a strange look on his face. Son Goku knew the special structure of the Namekians, and he did not hide his conversation with Trunks from Piccolo, but just told him to keep it secret for the time being. I know what to say, no need to make eye contact. Piccolo rolled his eyes at Sun Wukong in annoyance. He is not a person who does not know the importance of things. Kakarot, where is that guy? Sure enough, Vegeta wanted to continue asking Trunks. This father and son are really interesting. He has already left, didn't you see? Don't force him, you will understand when the time comes, now you have to break through the Super Saiyan. Sun Wukong waved goodbye to Trunks in the time machine that was about to leave the Earth's atmosphere, and said to Vegeta seriously. Forget it, let him go this time, and I'll settle with him later. Although he said so, for some reason Vegeta still waved at the time shuttle that Trunks was riding. Goodbye, handsome boy. Don't leave without saying goodbye next time. Tazy screamed. Sister, can you be more reserved? Your Vegeta is going to be jealous. Hee hee. Bulma saw Tais dancing and waving her hands, and Vegeta on the side saw this and his face changed a little, and he put down his waving hand. Who cares about him? Hee hee, it's his fault that he's not as handsome as the little boy. Teus laughed evilly. Tisk, you're just a brat. Woman, I'm going to kill you. Vegeta turned his head away and ignored Tais and Bulma's teasing. In the sky, Trunks muttered to himself. Goodbye, Mom and Dad. I will be back. I hope we can see you getting along well. Trunks' eyes were red. There was no one around, so he could release his inner emotions. Soon Trunks disappeared into the sky. However, everyone else thought that Trunks had left the Earth. Only Goku and Piccolo knew that Trunks had returned to the future. However, Goku had learned instant teleportation, so he had some understanding of the fluctuations of space. Is this the fluctuation of time and space? It is indeed different from teleportation. The time law contained in it is quite profound. I must study it when I have the chance. Sun Wukong suddenly became very interested in this kind of space-time law, but this kind of thing is currently only possessed by angels, and they don't know very profound things. Perhaps only the great priests and the dragon gods, or even the king of all, have such abilities. At this time, Piccolo began to help Sun Wukong explain what Trunks said just now. In the next 3 years, several androids will appear on the Earth. They are very powerful. They will kill and destroy the Earth. 3 years later, Goku died of a heart attack, and then we also died one by one at the hands of the androids. The Earth will be destroyed by these androids in the future, so we must practice harder in these 3 years. If you don't want to die, you'll just take care of yourself. I'm going to fight these androids to the death anyway, and I will definitely defeat them. Quote. Piccolo said coldly. He was upset about losing to Frieza this time, and vowed to kill all the androids in 3 years. What? According to you, Goku will not be able to participate in the battle with the androids in 3 years. No way. It's over. It's over now. Klin felt as if the world was coming to an end, and was a little overwhelmed for a moment. Goku is so strong, it's not like he has a heart disease. Can't senzu beans cure all injuries? We can ask Karen to get some senzu beans. We can even make a wish to Shenlong and ask him to cure Goku's heart disease. Yes, Shenlong can definitely do it. Let's go collect the Dragon Balls now. Yamcha immediately thought that making a wish to Shenlong was the best and most effective solution. It's useless. Goku's energy is too strong. Senzu beans and Shenlong can't cure Goku at all. Tien Shinhan is naturally very familiar with the power of the Earth Shenlong, and it is impossible to remove the heart disease virus in Sun Wukong. What should we do? Are we going to watch Goku die in 3 years? Krillin said worriedly. Son Gohan and Bulma beside him also grabbed Son Goku's arms nervously, looking worried. Don't worry too much. Trunks brought me some newly developed special medicine for viral heart disease. As long as I take it when the disease relapses in 3 years, I will recover soon. Sun Wukong touched Sun Wuhan's head and said softly. Then he gently stroked Bulma's long blue hair, indicating that she didn't need to worry. Yamcha, I want to tell you about what happened between me and Bulma. Sun Wukong felt the need to explain to Yamcha. But before he could finish, he was interrupted by Yamcha. I'm fine. In fact, from Bulma's attitude towards me over the past year, I knew there was no possibility between her and me. Until now, I'm still afraid of interacting with girls. If I continue like this, I'll delay Bulma. But now Goku, it's good that you've figured it out. Bulma has been waiting for you for many years, and I've always known it. Yamcha said sincerely. He really wasn't very interested in girls now, and the inertia of being afraid of beautiful women in his bones couldn't be eradicated, so he decided to focus on practicing hard in the future. Yamcha, I'm sorry. I only realized later that I liked Goku. So I'm sorry, I have decided to be with Goku. After saying that, Bulma snuggled in Goku's arms. Gohan didn't understand what this meant. He tilted his head and looked at Goku and Bulma, not knowing what they meant. Gohan, I will be your mother from now on, okay? Bulma took the opportunity to build a good relationship with son Gohan and even took out some drinks for him. So what will happen to my current mother after Aunt Bulma becomes my mother? Little idiot, she is still your mother, but you now have 2 mothers who love you. Bulma patted son Gohan's little head. No, 2 mothers force me to study, it's terrible. Thinking of this, son Gohan's little head shook hurriedly. It seems that Chi-Chi left a very bad impression on him. It's okay, I will discuss this with your mother later, don't worry. She won't force you to study anymore, just do whatever you want. We are all Saiyans, there is no need to study to change our destiny. Son. Goku stroked son Gohan's head and comforted him. This situation can be said to be largely caused by the original Son Goku. Although the spirit of the original Son Goku's pursuit of martial arts is worthy of admiration, it is too paranoid to ignore his family. So the current Son Goku has decided that he must not let this mistake continue to develop. He wants to change Son Gohan's destiny. In fact, being an excellent dad has a greater sense of superiority, provided that one has strong strength. Okay, I don't care about the relationship between you two, you can tell me how to break through the Super Saiyan. What are the other secrets? Vegeta was not interested in the things between Son Goku, Bulma and Yamcha, he just wanted to know about the things related to breaking through the Super Saiyan. Hearing what Vegeta said, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and others also began to prick up their ears and pay attention to Son Goku. But Son Goku didn't say anything, but looked around, and suddenly his fingers kept sending dozens of 6 Meridian's divine sword cheese around. Really, these nanoscale robots are so annoying, they are everywhere. As the voice fell, several explosions suddenly sounded around the crowd. What? Robots? These? Vegeta, Piccolo and the others were all worried and looked horrified. They had never expected something like this to happen. Alas, it's too late to remember. I guess the cells of Frieza and Vegeta have been collected by these robots, and the ones left behind are probably just monitoring us. I was delayed by Trunks's matter before, and I didn't think about this matter. It's a mistake. Forget it, if it weren't for this, how could Cell appear? I can't implement the hero saving the beauty later, so let Cell come out. Anyway, he is just a small dish, I still don't believe that I can't beat you like this. Thinking of this, Sun Wukong's mood improved again, and he temporarily put aside the matter of viral heart disease. These are the micro-nano robots made by Dr. Gero, the android creator that Trunks mentioned, and they are used to monitor us. Most people would not notice these robots, which are about the size of bees. I was just trying it out, but I didn't expect there were so many around us. It seems that this Red Ribbon army is really a scourge, and they are not dead yet. Sun Wukong found an excuse to get rid of Vegeta and others, because they didn't know the truth anyway. This was the truth that Cell told Piccolo in person 3 years later in the original work. At that time, Piccolo realized that there were already countless robots around him and others who were monitoring them. The androids, in 3 years, I will destroy them myself. How dare you spy on me? Vegeta was furious. He was a proud Saiyan prince, but these scumbags were secretly offending him. He really wanted to destroy them all. Let's put all of this aside for now. Now let me tell you about the Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan is a unique transformation form of our fighting nation, the Saiyans. It is also the most powerful foundation for us to become the strongest in the universe. Moreover, among the Saiyans, only one legendary Super Saiyan appears every 1,000 years. I can't say whether this Super Saiyan is the same as my current situation. But from my experience of this transformation, to transform, the Saiyan must first be extremely angry, so as to burst out the strongest power in our body, so that we have a chance to transform into a Super Saiyan. Quote, Sun Wukong transformed himself into a Super Saiyan, and then slowly said. That's it. So simple. Vegeta was a little bit unbelievable, and so were Piccolo and the others. It seemed that everyone could do such an outburst. Nonsense, of course it's not that simple, I've already said that's the first condition. Listen to me first, there are still many key points here. Sun Wukong was speechless to these impatient guys. In fact, the first person to reach the level of Super Saiyan was not me. Super Saiyan is not just a legend. We Saiyans have the first generation of Super Saiyan God, Yamoshi. This is what I know from the prediction of Yodrat, and not everyone can become a Super Saiyan by practicing and getting angry. To become a Super Saiyan, the Saiyan must first have a certain number of S cells in his body, and then use anger and other situations to explode and grow S cells to transform. In fact, all Saiyans have a little S cells in their bodies, but the number is not large, so many Saiyans cannot transform into Super Saiyans. Quote, Sun Wukong said it slowly, but Vegeta and Son Gohan listened very carefully. However, S cells can also be increased in other ways, and the most important thing to increase S cells is to have a stable heart, but this is difficult for most Saiyans. Due to the influence of the environment, Saiyans are usually irritable. In comparison, the living environment on Earth is more suitable for increasing S cells in Saiyans than planet Vegeta, so after living on Earth for so long, I can break through to Super Saiyan faster than you. This is not just a matter of talent, Vegeta, if you want to break through to Super Saiyan, you must adapt to life on Earth. Otherwise, your chances of breaking through to Super Saiyan will be much lower. The most classic Super Saiyan has a combat power of more than 50 times the normal level. How much it can be used depends on our own accumulation under normal conditions. So, Gohan, you can't be lazy, you must practice well. Quote. After listening to Son Goku's words, Vegeta did not rush to ask questions, he fell into deep thought. He knew that what Son Goku said was actually true, because in the past year or so of living on Earth, Vegeta felt that his combat power had improved a lot faster. At first he didn't know why, but after Son Goku's explanation, Vegeta finally understood what was going on. Then Son Goku explained several stages of Super Saiyan 1, so that Vegeta and Son Gohan could avoid some detours. As for the latter, he had not achieved it, and it would not be convincing enough to say it depends on personal understanding. That's perfect, Vegeta can continue to live in my house. And my sister just happened to be back, so I can practice and solve this problem at the same time. Bulma took the opportunity to invite Vegeta to stay. She could see that there seemed to be some special connection between her sister and Vegeta, so she might as well make it a happy adult life. Then Vegeta should stay. Frieza is dead anyway. If you want to find androids, they have to wait 3 years. No one knows where they are now. Don't you want to fight with the strong? Here, you can compete with me. There will be so many strong opponents in 3 years. Sun Wukong said lightly. He couldn't let Vegeta leave. Once he left, Trunks would disappear. Tisk, who wants to spar with you? In my dictionary, there is only real fighting, and I will go all out every time. Come on, exposed girl, I'll take you back, you don't know the way, do you? Vegeta said, grabbing ties and flying towards Exodus. Well, everyone, work hard and practice. We'll see you in 3 years. Piccolo, do you want to join me? Gohan, I need your guidance, too. Piccolo didn't want to be with Son Goku at first. He hadn't reconciled with Son Goku yet. But as soon as he heard Gohan's name, he fell in love with him and had to agree to Son Goku's invitation. Then we will go back to Kame Island. I will continue to work harder in my training. See you in 3 years. Tien Shinhan, Krillin, Yamcha and others also said goodbye. They couldn't waste any time. In a blink of an eye, only Son Goku and Bulma were left. Piccolo and Son Gohan went home first. Come on, Bulma. I'll take you home first, and then I'll marry you. Then you'll be my woman. Sun Wukong smiled softly. Seeing Sun Wukong smile, Bulma felt sweet and a little shy, and pinched Sun Wukong. You're dreaming. I won't agree unless you propose. If you want to hug me left and right, it depends on whether you can solve the problem between me and Chi-Chi. After he was free from worries, Goku began to train with Gohan, and Piccolo naturally joined him. Soon, half a year passed. Under Goku's guidance, Gohan grew rapidly and had already reached the level of Mimic Super Saiyan. As long as he worked harder, it would not be a problem to break through the Super Saiyan. Piccolo's growth was also very huge. He could fight the Mimic Super Saiyan Gohan on equal terms, which really made Goku marvel at the talent of the Namekian warrior. On the other hand, Goku also knew from Bulma's news that Vegeta had finally combined with Ties. Vegeta also reached the Mimic Super Saiyan state, and only needed one step to break through the Super Saiyan. More importantly, Ties was pregnant. Coincidentally, Vegeta named the child Trunks early on. At this time, Vegeta finally figured out why Goku said that he would understand everything when the time came. However, he was not too interested in this. His goal was to continue practicing. However, according to what Sun Wukong said, Vegeta would enjoy some life on Earth after practicing, and would go shopping with Tazy, acting like a gentle husband. In the past 6 months, Sun Wukong had hardly grown up, because he was a little uneasy. His 9-yang magic skill had reached the edge of a breakthrough to the 4th level, but this time he felt a poison in his body, and the location was exactly near his heart. This must be the source of the viral heart disease. The toxicity is so strong that it can even affect my combat effectiveness. My normal combat effectiveness should have dropped a lot. It is only 1.4 billion at most. No wonder Sun Wukong almost died in the original novel. Once the viral heart disease strikes, it is really too fast and can kill people in an instant. The reason why Sun Wukong was able to discover this virus in advance was because of the 9-yang magic art's true energy. The 9-yang magic art can originally dissolve all toxicity, and it can naturally quickly discover the virus in the body. It's just that he has only practiced to the 4th level now and cannot dissolve this virus. Now Sun Wukong can only slowly use the true energy of the 9-yang magic art to delay the outbreak of the virus. I don't know if his strength has increased too much compared to the original, so this virus actually has the possibility of breaking out in advance, and he knows that based on the current situation, the special medicine brought back by Trunks should not be very effective for him. However, he did not tell anyone about his physical condition. He just said that King Kai of the North wanted to ask him something, and then hurriedly left the Earth, and Son Gohan's training was also handed over to Piccolo for guidance. There is no way. Now this is related to his life. If he doesn't eliminate this virus, he has no future at all. At this moment, Sun Wukong missed the system very much. Unfortunately, there has been no movement since the system was upgraded. I don't know when it will be good. Now he can only rely on himself. Goku, how come you have time to come to me? Aren't you busy practicing for the creation of artificial humans on Earth? Hey, there's something wrong with your body. What's going on? As soon as he teleported to the North Kai King's planet, the North Kai King with two long tentacles came to Son Goku. After a few words of greeting, he soon discovered that something was wrong with Son Goku. I have a viral heart disease and it's about to happen, so I can only run to King Kai's planet. Otherwise, if it gets out of control, I'll die and the Earth will be blown up. Sun Wukong used most of his energy to suppress the virus, and he looked a little weak, but the huge energy emanating from his body still frightened King Kai. What? Explosion. Then you don't need to come to my place. It's so dangerous, Babris, Gurgly, let's go away, Wukong is too dangerous. The North King said to his two pets. Sun Wukong ignored the trembling North King and others, and he quickly entered the state of inner vision. As the true energy of the Nine Yang magic art continued to flow in the body, the virus near the heart seemed to sense the danger and became restless all of a sudden. It works. Great. I was afraid it wouldn't work. If it works, I won't be afraid it can't do anything to you. Sun Wukong was overjoyed. As long as there was hope, it would be fine. Although it was only the 4th level of the Nine Yang magic skill, the Qi was still effective in expelling the virus, but it was just slow. As the Nine Yang Qi approached, the strong virus began to retreat continuously, but it was like a ferocious beast, constantly issuing warnings while retreating. Soon, Sun Wukong felt that his body began to be in pain, and his heart seemed to be tightly grasped by a pair of invisible hands, and it seemed that it would stop beating at any time. You're quite smart. You actually know how to use my heart to threaten me, but do you think you can threaten me? I must completely drive you out. In his previous life, Sun Wukong was a stubborn person. He would not offend others unless they offended him. But now that the virus wants to take his life, he naturally regards the virus as the biggest enemy. It's either you or me. He never thought that he would fail. He didn't believe that he couldn't even do anything about a mere virus. In this way, Sun Wukong entered into a tug of war with the heart virus. He sat cross-legged on King Kai's planet and didn't move. At this time, the heart virus seemed to know that it was in a critical moment, and it broke out in advance. The energy it possessed was no less than that of Sun Wukong himself. He couldn't help but be a little surprised, but it made him more determined to completely eliminate the virus. Soon, more than 2 years passed, and Sun Wukong had been staying on King Kai's planet. During the time, King Kai of the North told Bulma and Chi-Chi on Earth that Goku was doing well and undergoing special training, so they didn't have to worry. On Earth, Vegeta finally broke through to Super Saiyan in the 2nd year, which made him very happy and he practiced harder. Although Gohan was a little later, he also broke through to Super Saiyan before the 3rd year, which made Piccolo feel relieved and he was more confident in dealing with the androids. A few days later, the 3-year period arrived as scheduled. On an island 9 kilometers south of the city, the sun rose as usual, and the gentle sunlight penetrated the fog on the sea surface and reflected a colorful and beautiful scene. At this time, the Dragon Ball warriors also ended their 3-year training and almost all gathered on the island 9 kilometers south of the city. I didn't expect that you and Jiaozi have already arrived. Your fighting power has improved a lot. It seems that you feel a great threat to the androids. Krillin flew from a distance like a flash of light and saw several people standing on the top of the island from afar. You are not slow either. Jiaozi said with a smile. Soon, Piccolo, Son Gohan and others arrived, and then Yamcha also arrived. Vegeta came last, but his face was full of confidence. Gohan, hasn't your father Kakarot returned from King Kai yet? Forget it, I don't need him to show up this time. I can kill all these androids. How have you been training for the past 3 years? Don't lose the Saiyan race. Vegeta finally got over the loss he felt 3 years ago, and now he looks very proud. He hasn't come back yet, but Lord North Kai said some time ago that my father is fine and will be back soon. Son Gohan has great confidence in Son Goku. He doesn't believe that his omnipotent father will be defeated by a simple viral heart disease. I think, even if Son Goku can't come back, it's okay. With our strength, we are enough to deal with these androids. Pico is also full of confidence. It can be seen that he has made great progress in the past 3 years, but it is all thanks to the training method left by Son Goku. While teaching Son Gohan, Piccolo also practiced the method taught by Son Goku, and the effect is very significant. After a while, a flying vehicle landed on the island, and Tazy with long golden hair came down holding a child. Hey, why is Miss Tazy here? This child, is Miss Tazy married? Looking at the child in Tazy's arms curiously. Krillin asked curiously. Tazy is Bulma's sister, and they met 3 years ago. No, this child belongs to that guy Vegeta. Bulma, who was standing next to her, followed ties down from the aircraft with dissatisfaction. What an abnormal combination this was. She couldn't understand what was wrong with her sister that she chose to have a child with Vegeta. Whenever she thought of this, Bulma felt dissatisfied with Vegeta. Her sister was a little old, but she looked like a girl in her 20s. This Vegeta lived with her sister and got her pregnant. The most outrageous thing was that they didn't even have a wedding. This made her feel very upset. Hey, what's the little guy's name? Clint teased the child, who opened his eyes and looked very serious. His name is Trunks. Trunks. Krillin exclaimed when he heard the child's name. Yes, I am also very surprised that his name is exactly the same as that of the boy 3 years ago. Maybe Vegeta hopes that this child will become such a powerful person when he grows up. Bulma and Krillin naturally don't know that the boy 3 years ago is the same as this child when he grows up. Tazy, you and Bulma should take Trunks back first, it's too dangerous here. Krillin frowned and said to Bulma, there are 2 women with no fighting power here, and a baby, it will really distract them. Really, you should go back. Vegeta, you should persuade them too, after all, one is your wife and the other is your sister-in-law. Yamcha also persuaded. It's okay, I'll just take a look and go back. Bulma smiled and waved her hand. I also want to see what the boy said about the androids, so that I can be inspired to write. Tazy also laughed, or maybe she had confidence in Vegeta, and he would definitely protect her. Don't worry, I'm here, who can hurt them? As a Saiyan's wife, don't you have this little courage? As a Saiyan, Trunks should have received this kind of training since childhood. Vegeta said coldly. He felt that he was fully capable of protecting ties. Don't you think it's strange? It's already past 10 o'clock, but we haven't sensed any enemy presence yet. Tien Shinhan stood on the edge of the mountain, overlooking the prosperous town below. Maybe there are no androids at all. Although that guy came from the future. However, he also said that many accidents happened in this era, and many things are different. Could it be that there are no androids here at all? Yamcha spread his hands and said optimistically. Don't be blindly optimistic. Tien Shinhan said cautiously. Because of the extraordinary strength of Son Goku, he has worked harder in recent years to practice, and his strength is several times stronger than in the original work. But because of this, Tien Shinhan understands the terribleness of powerful enemies. Since Trunks said that the androids can defeat Super Saiyan Vegeta and Son Gohan, they must be ready. By the way, that boy seemed to have said that androids are modified, so they don't have much aura. While everyone was still waiting, Piccolo's voice suddenly came. If the android has no breath, that will be a problem. Tien Shinhan couldn't help but frown. If I can't sense their presence, I can only judge with my eyes. Let's split up and search for them. Once we find them, let us know immediately. Piccolo said calmly, and then they whooshed, and scattered to various places in the town. Seeing Piccolo and his men disperse to search for the androids, Bulma and Tazy sat on the rocks of the island board. After a few minutes, they saw that no one had returned, so they could only drive the aircraft back with disappointment. For the safety of Trunks in their arms, they decided to return home and wait. There are several towns scattered on the islands near the southern city. The population is not large and scattered, so it is difficult to find androids among them. Not long after, Yamcha was ambushed by the androids. Fortunately, Piccolo arrived in time and saved him with senzu beans. The 2 androids that came into view were a shriveled old man with white beard and long hair, and a fat man with a bloated body and pointed horns on his head. On their hats were marked, RR, that is the unique symbol of the Red Ribbon Army. They are the androids. They finally reveal their true colors. Piccolo was overjoyed, his eyes flashed with a cold light, and his aura increased rapidly. Vegeta sensed Piccolo's aura from afar, and knew that Piccolo had discovered the androids, so his whole body flashed and he rushed over at full speed. Are these 2 guys androids? Are they really that powerful? Krillin also arrived, but the androids he saw were a fat man and an old man. It was really hard to associate them with strong people with such a shabby image. Vegeta and Tien Shinhan also looked at them with suspicion. Although they didn't know the specific strength of the androids, according to Piccolo's previous description, the power of the androids was above that of Super Saiyans. But looking at their appearance, they really didn't look like them. No wonder they judge people by their appearance. If a real master looks like this, it is probably a perfect disguise. Can they kill me? Vegeta was very angry, because in Trunks' description, he died at the hands of these androids. Be careful. Pay attention to the palms of the two androids. There are strange devices there that will absorb our energy. I was attacked by them just now. Yamcha, who had already experienced danger once, said solemnly. Although the appearance of androids 19 and 20 was not very good, their strength was quite terrifying. There were devices on their palms that could absorb energy. Humph, then we just need to avoid their palms, there is nothing to worry about. Vegeta said coldly, with a look of disdain on his face, and suddenly roared, and his whole body immediately burst into golden light, as if transformed into a Super Saiyan. Die, you two monsters. Leave it to me. Then he turned into a flash of lightning and rushed directly to Android 19 and 20. In the stunned expressions of Android 19 and 20, he suddenly launched an attack. Oh my, Vegeta has actually become a Super Saiyan. Krillin exclaimed in surprise when he saw Vegeta's state. Not only that, it feels like Vegeta's energy is even stronger than Frieza's at that time. Tien Shinhan said with a look of surprise, then said seriously. I didn't expect Vegeta to reach this level. Gohan, you have to work harder and don't lose to him. Pico said seriously to Son Gohan beside him. Well, I will work hard, just like Uncle Piccolo and Daddy. Son Gohan looked at Vegeta's figure with excitement. As a Saiyan, he naturally had a strong fighting gene in his body, and he began to ignite as he looked at it. Tien Shinhan's face condensed, and he looked at Son Gohan thoughtfully, then continued to turn his gaze to Vegeta and the androids in battle. As Vegeta and the androids fought fiercely, rumbling explosions were heard incessantly, and dazzling lights flashed in the smoke. The entire island seemed to be sunk and shook violently. Vegeta, who had transformed into a Super Saiyan, and androids 19 and 20, the two of them started fighting, but the situation was one-sided. At this moment, Vegeta laughed wildly, releasing the power of a Super Saiyan. He had been suppressed for too long. Now that his dream of becoming a Super Saiyan had come true, he needed to vent his anger with a ruthless attitude and defend his dignity as a Saiyan prince with the blood of his enemies. At this time, the arrogance of the Super Saiyan was also evident. With a roar, Vegeta fought 1 against 2, but he was not at a disadvantage at all. Bang! 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 The sky trembled, the air surged, large tracts of violent energy dissipated everywhere, and the earth rumbled. Vegeta's power has become stronger again, and he is actually beating the androids. I don't think the scene in the future will happen again. Krillin watched in amazement. Piccolo watched the battle and said gloomily, those two androids are not scary. What is difficult is their hands that can absorb energy. You see, as long as you avoid the opponent's hands, it is not difficult to destroy the androids. Krillin heard this and watched carefully. Sure enough, as long as you find the weakness of the androids, it is very simple to deal with them. At this time, Son Gohan couldn't help but want to take action. With a bang, he transformed into a Super Saiyan form and rushed up directly, sandwiched between Vegeta and the androids, and snatched Android 20 from Vegeta. Son Gohan, get out of here. You don't even need to join the fight, I can take care of these two in one go. Vegeta's face was grim, and he roared with a livid face. Uncle Vegeta, don't be like this, you still have an opponent, just let me have this one. Son Gohan's personality has changed a lot in recent years. Since he has Son Goku as his backer, he is no longer as well-behaved as in the original work, and has become more belligerent. Asshole. Vegeta cursed, stepped into the air, and suddenly disappeared from everyone's sight. When he reappeared, he was already next to Android 19. With a click, he grabbed Android 19's arm and twisted it hard, removing everything below the elbow. I let you suck it. Rubbish, without this, you are nothing. Vegeta said angrily, feeling a little pressured that Son Gohan could also transform into a Super Saiyan. I didn't expect Gohan to be so powerful that he could even transform into a Super Saiyan. Piccolo, your teaching method is really good. Krillin was very excited. It's none of my business. I'm just responsible for supervising Gohan's training. The really useful method is the one left by Son Goku. I don't know how this guy is doing now. He has been on King Kai's planet for so long. It seems that this heart virus is a big threat to him. Pico is also somewhat concerned about this former enemy, and Son Goku is also very good to him. I hope he is safe. Klin prayed. After losing both hands, Android 19 became very panicked. He felt the strong threat of death, and was soon beaten by Vegeta without any chance to fight back. Boom! A violent explosion was heard, and a big hole was blown out of the ground. Android 19's body was blown to pieces, and only a head was left, flying out in a curved arc in the air. Gohan, I've already dealt with the androids, and you're still dithering. You're the same as your father Kakarot, fussy. Vegeta laughed arrogantly, secretly despising Son Gohan's softness in dealing with his enemies. Oh, Uncle Vegeta, you are so fast. Son Gohan was surprised. Hee, because my power has surpassed yours, Gohan. Vegeta was in a very good mood, with a smile on his face. He felt that he should be no worse than the previous Son Goku. This was the first time he had surpassed Son Goku head on after returning from planet Namek. As a Super Saiyan, in his opinion, he was already stronger than Kakarot and his son. However, he didn't know that Son Goku had been suppressing his fighting power. Except for the battle with King Cold in the space later, Son Goku released some of his fighting power. Vegeta was destined to have no way to surpass the current Son Goku. The situation is critical. Son Goku hasn't appeared yet, but Son Gohan and Vegeta are unexpectedly strong. What's their current state? Why haven't we seen them before? Android 20, no, it should be Dr. Gero, who began to get anxious. Dr. Gero usually uses micro-insect robots to explore the enemy's situation. Very few things that happen on Earth escape his detection. He also knows that Son Goku and his friends are very strong, so he even transformed himself into an android. But insect robots only work on Earth after all, and what happened on Namek was beyond his expectations. After returning to Earth, the battle with Frieza also destroyed those robots, so he didn't recognize the Super Saiyan transformation of Son Goku and his friends. I can't handle them by myself, do I really have to wake them up? But, they might want to kill me first. Forget it, revenge is more important. Dr. Gero was anxious and began to hesitate, but when he saw Son Gohan and Vegeta staring at him not far away, his scalp tingled, and he gritted his teeth and made up his mind. Wait, Son Gohan, Vegeta, what's your status? Why have you become so much stronger? Dr. Gero was secretly anxious. When they were detecting before, their fighting power was not so strong. How come they became so much stronger after their status changed? So he asked while stalling for time, while looking for a chance to break through. Haha, let me tell you, this is the Super Saiyan state. Vegeta replied with a wild laugh. Super Saiyan. Dr. Gero muttered to himself, making sure he had never heard of it. Stop talking nonsense. Let me deal with you. Vegeta stepped forward excitedly and pushed Son Gohan aside. Gohan, since you can't deal with it, leave it to me. Ah, Uncle Vegeta, that's my opponent. Son Gohan opened his mouth and followed him. Bang, bang, bang. Facing the combined attack of Vegeta and Son Gohan, two Super Saiyans. Dr. Gero had no chance to fight back. He was soon beaten all over and one of his arms was removed. Without enough energy replenishment, the speed gradually decreased. Saiyan. Dr. Gero's eyes were red and his expression became irritable. The power of the Super Saiyan was far beyond his expectations, and he actually made his first glorious appearance so embarrassing. But do you think you can defeat me like this? No. I still have no. 17, number 18 and number 16, they will come and kill you soon. I don't care about that, I want you to die. Dr. Gero roared frantically, and quickly sprayed out a large amount of energy waves with his other hand. Boom. The island was immediately shrouded in thick smoke rising from the explosion, and the vision was blurred. Dr. Gero took the opportunity to hide his breath and sneaked into the ground and disappeared. The smoke gradually dissipated, and there was no trace of the android Dr. Gero on the ruins covered with yellow sand. The androids do not have the breath of humans, and they also have special devices to hide the breath. If they hide, it is generally difficult to find them unless they show up themselves. Seeing the meat in his mouth flying away, Vegeta's veins popped on his head, and he shouted at Son Gohan, "Gohan, you are too slow. If it weren't for your clumsy hands and feet, this android would not have escaped at all." Quote, "How can you blame me? It was obviously that android who was cunning." Son Gohan shook his head innocently. HMPH. Vegeta snorted angrily and stood aside without saying anything. What should we do? That android has no breath at all. We can't find him at all. Krillin said anxiously. Dr. Gro may not look strong, but his escape skills are definitely not weak. It is extremely difficult to find him. Hey, is the battle over? Am I late? At this moment, Trunks, who came from another world, appeared in front of everyone. He looked at Vegeta and the others in surprise, looked at the island that had been destroyed beyond recognition, and asked, "What happened just now? Who were you fighting with? Isn't that the artificial human you mentioned? Homunculi. You met them so soon?" Trunks said nervously. Yes, Vegeta also killed one of the fat guys, but unfortunately the other old guy got away. Krillin said happily. Fatty. Old man. Impossible, I have never seen these two androids before, are you mistaken? Is there something wrong with history? Trunks frowned in shock. What's wrong? Aren't they the androids you mentioned? Krillin looked at Trunks in disbelief. Vegeta, Son Gohan, and Piccolo were also shocked. They weren't the real androids. No, in my world, the androids that destroyed the Earth are number 17 and no. 18. Number 17 is a black-haired boy with a scarf around his neck, while number 18 is a girl with golden hair and clothes similar to mine. They both look cold and wear golden earrings, so they are easy to identify. A female android. Krillin was shocked. The androids they had just fought were either old men or fat men, so where did this girl come from? Well, and their energy is almost infinite and never depleted. In short, it's very terrifying. They are different, could it be because the worlds are different? After listening to Trunks' description, Piccolo said to himself with a dark face. So we hit the wrong person just now. Vegeta's face was full of dissatisfaction. Wait, I seem to hear that old man shouting about number 17 and number 18 just now, saying that they will not let us go. Son Gohan said with his hand raised. At this time, Trunks stared at the golden-haired Son Gohan in a daze. It turned out that Brother Gohan in this world was like this, completely different from the Brother Gohan in his own time and space. Thinking of Son Gohan who died at the hands of the androids in order to protect himself, Trunks' face was gloomy. But soon Trunks came back to his senses. So, even if the people who fought with you just now were not number 17 and no 18, they must be androids. No 17 and no 18 must be somewhere else, and we must find them as soon as possible. Otherwise, once they wake up, we may not be their opponents. Quote. Trunks is right, but there is no breath on the android, it is hard to find it. Krillin said distress-edly. I think as long as we find Android 20, which is Dr. Gero's research institute, we will definitely know the whereabouts of these androids. The question is where is Dr. Gro's institute? Maybe Aunt Bulma would know something. Trunks remembered something. His grandfather was one of the top scientists on Earth. Bulma should have heard about Dr. Gero's research institute from him. A few hundred kilometers away, they found Bulma. She was on her way back with Tais in a flying vehicle. Looking at Tais, who looked several decades younger. Trunks didn't know what to call her for a moment. Looking at the blonde baby Tais was carrying. Trunks's mom got stuck in his throat. Handsome little brother, we meet again. You seem to be more handsome now, and your name is exactly the same as mine. Tais's blue-purple eyes sparkled, and she looked at Trunks with a smile. Trunks nodded silently, looking at his young mother, she should be very happy now. Thinking of another time and space, his mother had been killed by the androids a long time ago, which made him hate these androids very much. It seems that in another world, you and I should be very close. Thank you for your hard work. Tais sighed. facing the young man who suddenly appeared and was very likely related by blood. Ties could only try to relax and distinguish the two time and space. Anyway, the future time and space will not affect this side. Trunks shook his head and asked Bulma, Aunt Bulma, do you know where Dr. Gero's research institute is? Drive Grow. I've heard of him before. His research institute seems to be in. After getting the approximate location of Dr. Gallo's research institute, several people split up and started looking for Dr. Gallo's research institute. In Dr. Gero's laboratory. Dr. Gero hesitated again and again, but still opened the hibernation capsule marked with 17, 18 inches and prepared to wake up androids 17 and 18. With 2 clicks, the hibernation capsule opened, and 2 figures, a man and a woman, climbed out of the hibernation capsule. The man had black hair, a cold face, and a scarf around his neck. The woman was cold as ice, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and her blue eyes flashed with a cold light. No. 17, number 18, hurry up. Vegeta and his men will be here soon. I want you to kill them all, leaving no one behind. Dr. Gero saw that the 2 androids did not look abnormal, and began to give orders. Yes. No 17's cold voice sounded, but his body suddenly flashed, and in a flash, he snatched the dormant controller from Dr. Gero. What? The sudden change shocked Dr. Gro, and a bad premonition immediately came to his mind. He shouted in horror. Number 17, what are you doing? Do you need to ask what you want to do? Speaking of hatred, we hate you the most. Go to hell. Number 17 sneered and attacked him directly. Poor Dr. Gro did not even have time to think. He felt dizzy and his head was spinning in the air, flying far away. There was a smack sound, and then number 17 stepped on it and crushed it. Old man, we don't want to be controlled by you anymore. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be like this. Number 17 resented Dr. Gro even more. Hee, number 17, you're really quick. With this old guy, we'll be much more comfortable. With a faint smile, No 18's pretty face was outlined with a soft glow. His 2 blue eyes looked around and soon saw the large dormant device placed in the center of the institute. Hey, there's a number 16 here, and he looks a little different from us. Dr. Gero actually created so many androids. I wonder how strong this guy is. Do you want to open him and take a look? I heard from the doctor before that this number 16 can kill us. No. 18 asked with his head tilted. Number 17 shrugged, letting her decide for herself. Number 18 smiled excitedly, bent down and was about to press the button of No 16's hibernation capsule. Boom. At this moment, the steel gate of the institute was blown open, the smoke dissipated, and Son Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and others appeared at the entrance of the institute. Don't even think about it. Qigong wave. Trunks was furious, and he sent out Qigong waves with both hands, trying to stop number 18 from releasing No. 16. Fool, don't waste your energy. Vegeta was very anxious and snorted. But it was too late. Boom. The institute was blown up by the Qigong wave and began to collapse. Everyone rushed out. You are too impulsive. Your energy waves are useless. It's just a waste of your energy. Although he didn't know what abilities number 17 and number 18 had. Vegeta had fought number 19 and knew that they were not afraid of this kind of energy wave, but could absorb it. But I can't let them release another android. The Earth will be destroyed by them. Trunks said loudly. He had experienced too many threats from number 17 and number 18 in the future, so he was anxious to kill them. Take a good look for yourself. Is it useful? At this time, we should think of a way, not be so impulsive. Vegeta already knew that Trunks was his child from the future, so he patiently educated him and pointed to the side of the cliff. Number 17 and number 18 were standing there unharmed, and number 18 was still dragging the hibernation chamber containing No. 16. Click. No 16's hibernation chamber opened, and slowly a burly, brown-haired number 16 woke up. Oh my. So many people came at once, what should we do now? Oh, it's a pity that Sun Wukong is not here, forget it, I'll kill you and then go find Sun Wukong. Number 18, let's go and kill them. Number 17 looked at Vegeta and others coldly and said harshly. Do we really want to kill Sun Wukong? But we don't seem to know him, so why not just kill these people? Number 18 was a little hesitant. Number 18, what are you saying? We were created to kill Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is also responsible for our bodies being in this state. There is also a bomb in our bodies. We must kill Sun Wukong to be safe. Number 17 was very dissatisfied with No 18's attitude, but after all, she was her sister. Humph, don't even mention it, I'm the one who wants to kill you. Prepare to die, you think you can fight against us Saiyans? Vegeta raised his eyebrows, looked at the two androids chatting and laughing with disdain, and said to Son Gohan, Gohan, how about we compete again, one each, and see who can kill them faster? Uncle Vegeta, these androids are very powerful. Trunks also said that we have to be careful. Son Gohan was shocked, and Vegeta's arrogance began to appear again. Tisk, forget about you. I can handle them all by myself. He roared and turned into a Super Saiyan at the same time, then flew towards number 17 and No. 18. Trunks was stunned. It was such a time and his father was still thinking about the competition. This was related to the peace of the whole world. Thinking of the next 20 years of being killed by the androids. Trunks couldn't bear it anymore and rushed up. Everyone be careful, their strength is very terrifying, don't take it lightly. Boom, boom, boom. It was as if the sky and the earth were shaking. The mountain where the research institute was located was completely blown up, and the rocks and crazy energy produced by the explosion flew everywhere, and thick smoke spread out. This is my opponent, get out of my way. Seeing Trunks suddenly attack, Vegeta's face turned black, and his gloomy face seemed to be dripping with ink. Vegeta, let's attack together. One person will suffer. Get out of my way. Vegeta was furious and punched Trunks hard, knocking him far away. With a bang, he crashed into a cliff dozens of kilometers away. Hee, they're already fighting before the fight even starts. It seems like you're really arrogant, Vegeta. Well, let me show you how powerful we are. Number 18 chuckled, covering his mouth with his hands. Android, I don't care whether you are a woman or not, today I want to let you know how powerful we Super Saiyans are. That's really interesting. The blue eyes glanced around. This place is not suitable for a battlefield. If you want to fight, you guys come with me. After saying that, he flew up into the air with number 17 and number 16, and then accelerated in one direction, like lightning, appearing hundreds of kilometers away in the blink of an eye. On a winding canyon, number 17, number 18 and number 16 were already waiting there, like hunters waiting for prey to come to them. Several figures flashed across the sky, and Vegeta and others flew over one after another. Haha, you are in such a hurry to come and die. Then we will grant your wish. Number 17 jumped down from the rock, stared with two sky blue eyes, and said contemptuously, the one rushing in the front is Vegeta, and following behind should be Son Gohan and a boy of unknown origin. Oh, there are also a few guys with good strength. No. 17, I'll leave that Son Gohan to you, I'll play with Vegeta. Number 16, are you okay with dealing with the others? Number 18 stroked the golden hair hanging by her neck and said elegantly. Okay, since you want to play so much, I'll leave Vegeta to you. Number 16, let's stop Son Gohan and the others, but don't kill them like this, otherwise it will be a lot less fun. Our main opponent is Son Goku, but I don't know where he is now. Number 17 said. I don't want to fight, it would be bad if I hurt the animals around. I only have one goal, which is to kill Son Goku. Number 16 said blankly. Number 17 was stunned for a moment, then laughed. It was okay for number 16 not to fight, so he would just play with them first. The battle started soon, and number 17 blocked Son Gohan and others. Number 18 chose Vegeta. Under Vegeta's strong momentum, number 18 stood still. What are you all still standing there for? They are evil androids. Let's kill them together. Trunks followed and saw that Son Gohan and the others were fighting the androids, while Piccolo and the others were watching. He became anxious. Krillin shook his head and said, it's hard for us to intervene in the battle at this time. Besides, you Saiyans will never be satisfied unless you can decide who is better. In fact, they couldn't intervene in the battle at the Super Saiyan level. Not to mention anything else, even the huge amount of energy leaked out could seriously injure them. They could only wait for an opportunity. Bang! 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 With every collision, the sky seemed to be torn apart. The battle between Vegeta and No. 18 was extremely fierce. The sky trembled as if it was about to explode. But Vegeta's strength was still not as good as number 18. After a series of fights, Vegeta gradually felt powerless like hitting cotton. Every attack was avoided, and then a powerful impact came like a whirlwind, covering him all at once. Vegeta became more and more gloomy as he fought, and his punches and kicks became heavier. His energy consumption became faster and faster, while No. 18 seemed to never stop, constantly releasing powerful energy attacks. Not far away, Tien Shinhan and others could no longer stand on the ground, and flew back to the air in the distance. Looking at Vegeta who was fighting with No. 18, their eyes became worried. Vegeta's situation is not favorable. On the other side, the battle between Son Gohan and number 17 was also so fierce, but Son Gohan seemed to have a slight advantage. Brother Son Gohan is so powerful. Has he received training from Mr. Son Goku? Trunks looked at Son Gohan in surprise. The power displayed by the androids in this world seemed to be stronger than that of his. But Son Gohan could suppress Android 17 by himself. If he and others joined in, maybe they could destroy the androids soon. My aunt asked me to find Mr. Son Goku, and now it seems that she was right. Trunks thought to himself that if he could have the same powerful strength as Son Goku, it would not be difficult to destroy the androids in his world. But Trunks now remembered that he had not seen Son Goku yet, and hurriedly asked Krillin, "Excuse me, where is Mr. Son Goku? Did he have a heart attack?" "Yes, it happened 2 years ago. Goku is still on King Kai's planet. According to Lord North Kai, he has not yet woken up, but he is getting better. We originally thought that we could eliminate these androids without Goku, but now it seems that we still need Goku." Krillin told Trunks about Son Goku's current situation. What? How could it happen 2 years earlier? This is totally different from history. Why is it like this? Is there really no way to save it? Trunks was shocked. He didn't expect that he could return to the past time and space, but still couldn't change history. Don't worry, now that Vegeta and Gohan have both reached Super Saiyan, I think Goku will be blessed. He will definitely come back safely. Krillin said confidently. Son Gohan, who was fighting number 17, looked solemn. He thought that after 3 years of hard preparation, he should be able to easily deal with the androids after his strength had improved a lot. But now it seems that he was too optimistic. He could barely deal with number 17, but the situation on Vegeta's side was not optimistic. The most dangerous one is Android 16, who doesn't talk much and looks peaceful. Somehow, Son Gohan suddenly had such an idea in his mind, which made him a little cautious. Soon, the battle took a turn for the worse. After just a few minutes, Vegeta's physical strength dropped rapidly and he was defeated by Android 18. It seems that you are no match for me, Vegeta. Haha, let me send you on your way. Number 18 broke Vegeta's arm, narrowed his eyes, and pulled at his clothes that were half torn from the fight. Ah! Vegeta yelled unwillingly, his whole body bent in pain. Oh no, everyone, attack together. With Trunks' shout, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan, Krillin and others attacked together, but at this moment, Android 16, who had been standing aside without saying anything, attacked. His movements were extremely swift, like a heavy tank rolling over, without any fancy extra movements. Bang bang bang. Trunks, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and others were directly knocked out. Amazing. How can there be such a powerful android? Why haven't I seen him in the future? Trunks turned pale. He had never expected that Android 16 would be so powerful. This is a fair fight, don't interfere. Don't worry, we won't kill you, at least not now, we are looking for Sun Wukong. Number 16 said calmly. Haha, it seems we won this time. Android 18 smiled, showing a charming smile, but no one present had time to appreciate her smile. Everyone was speechless for a moment, and Son Gohan could only Vegeta tied with Android 17, but was defeated by Android 18. Even if they joined forces, they could not defeat Android 16. No matter which angle you look at it from, they all lost. So should we kill you? After all, the purpose of our creation is to kill Sun Wukong. However, you are lucky this time. I promised someone that I would not kill anyone casually. Number 18 licked his red lips, looking nonchalant. Then he kicked Vegeta away and walked to No. 17. At this time, Son Gohan was already panting and had little energy to continue to maintain the Super Saiyan state. Is it over? Everyone was anxious and closed their eyes. Is it possible that tragedy will happen again? Is history really unchangeable? Trunks thought painfully, his arms trembling. However, to their surprise, 16 quickly agreed with 18, and 17 naturally had to obey the unanimous decision of the two. In the end, the three androids just left without attacking anyone else. What is going on? They just left like that. They didn't want to kill us. Krillin couldn't believe it. Maybe they feel too proud to kill us. We are not even qualified to be their opponents. Bick said, gritting his teeth. At this moment, he felt extremely humiliated. I will definitely take revenge. Vegeta jumped up in anger and flew away. He was hit hard. Even after breaking through the Super Saiyan, he was still no match for the android. Kaori. Trunks wanted to fly over to comfort her, but stopped because he didn't know what to do. Piccolo soon left, but he was flying towards Karin Tower. He had to make a difficult decision. Uncle Piccolo. Let's go to Karin Tower together. The gods may have a solution. Before leaving, my father said that if we are in a desperate situation, we can go to Karin Tower and ascend to the Temple of the Gods. The gods have a way to improve our strength. Son Gohan said to the others. On the distant Kai King planet, Sun Wukong had been sitting there for more than 2 years. At this moment, he was filled with a fiery aura, and his whole body was suspended in the air. His face was full of pain. Over the past 2 years, he had been using the 9 Yang Qi to expel the virus, but the virus was very tenacious and had only been slowly expelled until now. Babris, how long do you think it will take for Goku? The situation on Earth is not good right now, and Goku hasn't continued to practice in the past 3 years. Even if he goes back, I don't know if he can deal with those androids. The North King's 2 tentacles kept waving, and he was a little worried about the condition of Sun Wukong. Although he had improved, he hadn't woken up for a long time. Ah! Sun Wukong suddenly flew into the air and roared in the sky above King Kai's planet. The 9 Yang Qi in his body began to circulate at a very fast speed, and his whole body seemed to be as hot as fire. Boom! In the sky above King Kai's planet, several lightning bolts appeared around Sun Wukong. Although they flashed by, they made King Kai even more frightened. A black smoke emerged from Sun Wukong's body and wrapped around him, but it was quickly burned by the flames outside his body and turned into nothingness. Finally, I have completely eliminated this virus. It took me more than 2 years. But I have gained a lot. I have broken through to the 5th level of the 9 Yang magic art. Although my normal combat power has not increased much this time, I believe that as long as I practice for a period of time, I will be able to increase it several times again. Sun Wukong was suspended in the air, feeling very comfortable. After his body recovered, the system in his mind was also upgraded. This made him even more ecstatic. Good luck really came one after another. Goku. Are you okay? Come down quickly. Seeing that Sun Wukong looked ruddy, King Kai knew that he was fine. After landing on the ground, Sun Wukong quickly asked King Kai about the current situation on Earth. What's happening on Earth now? Vegeta and the others shouldn't have been killed, right? Not yet, but now that Piccolo has merged with the Celestial God, the Earth's Dragon Balls are no longer useful. That's it. It's okay. There will be a chance to recover it later. Sun Wukong didn't care too much about this Dragon Ball. As long as he invited other Namekians to Earth, the Dragon Ball would be ready for use soon. After the fusion, Piccolo is very powerful and can already tie with Android 17. And after Vegeta trained in the Spirit Time Chamber of the Celestial Temple on your Earth, his strength has far surpassed Androids 17 and 18. However, a green insect monster named Cell appeared out of nowhere. He killed tens of millions of humans in several cities, and after absorbing the essence of so many humans, his strength increased greatly. Then, when Piccolo and No. 17 were both injured, he suddenly appeared, and used his tail to absorb No. 17 into his body. Now his strength has greatly increased. Piccolo is no match for that monster Cell, and he was almost killed by Cell. Now Cell is preparing to absorb No. 18. Goku, you have to be quick. Once Cell absorbs No. 18, Cell will be even stronger. He said that he can evolve into a perfect form. Quote. King Kai quickly explained the current situation on Earth to Son Goku. Well, I didn't expect Cell to show up so soon. He wants to be invincible in the world. However, his vision is too narrow. It's hard for him to become the number one on Earth. There is a more powerful guy sealed on Earth. Sun Wukong sneered. Cell has become arrogant after fusing with the Saiyan cells. By the way, Goku, your other son, Son Goten, has also been born. Oh, the little guy is finally born. He should be born at this time. He is my son, Sun Wukong. He will definitely be stronger. Okay, Lord Kai, I'm going back now. Cell is trying to devour my woman, I can't just stand by and watch. Sun Wukong said. Wait, Goku. Cell is no match for Vegeta now. I don't think you need to go back so soon. You haven't practiced much in the past 2 years, and you may not be a match for Cell now. You might as well practice with me first. King Kai said quickly. He was very confident in Son Goku's talent, but he was still worried about not practicing for so long and facing such a powerful Cell. It's okay. Even if I face the perfect Cell now, I won't lose. The important thing now is to stop Cell from absorbing No. 18. She is the woman I have reserved. Vegeta will definitely let Cell absorb No. 18. If I don't go back, it will be too late. Goodbye, Lord Kai. Sun Wukong's figure flashed and he used instant teleportation to return to Earth. Cell, give up. You can't be my opponent. I have now reached the second stage of Super Saiyan 1. Both speed and strength are far beyond the first stage. Thanks to Son Goku, he told me the training methods of these Super Saiyans and the stages, which made me know the direction of training more clearly. Vegeta floated in the air and said to the scarred humanoid insect monster on the ground with a disdainful tone. Since you are no longer of any use, I will kill you. Go to hell, you disgusting android, you are not worthy of having Saiyan cells. If I hadn't evolved into my perfect form yet, how could you possibly be my opponent? As long as I can absorb number 18, none of you can be my opponent. Cell said grimly, he was very unwilling, just a little bit away from. Oh, as long as you absorb number 18, you can evolve into a perfect form, and then you will definitely beat me. You are not just talking nonsense, you have been fighting for so long, and you have no power to fight back against me. Vegeta sneered. That's right, as long as I can evolve into my perfect form, I will definitely be able to defeat you. Cell said with gritted teeth. What's up, Vegeta? You Saiyans are born to fight. You like to fight with others. And the stronger the opponent, the higher your fighting spirit. Right. I'm right. You must want to see me in my perfect form and try what it feels like. Shahrukh said provocatively. He also has Vegeta's cells in his body. I think it must be like this, because you are a member of the fighting nation and the Prince of Saiyans, you will definitely not miss such an opportunity. Don't you really want to continue fighting with me after you become a perfect body? The Prince of the fighting nation. Cell had been forced into a corner by Vegeta and could only use provocation to stimulate Vegeta. Humph. You know a lot about Saiyans. After transforming into a Super Saiyan, Vegeta became even more proud. He had always been unwilling to accept that Son Goku was stronger than him, and at this moment, he was provoked again by Cell. This is entirely because I have your cells in my body, so I naturally understand your thoughts. Saru said proudly. Well, I will follow your wishes and fall into your trap. I want to see your strength after you become a perfect body. Even if I kill you now, I have nothing to be proud of. Hearing this, Cell finally showed a trace of pride. He was using Vegeta's arrogance to get a glimmer of hope. No, Dad. You can't let him go like this, he killed so many people on Earth. This is also your biggest weakness, you know, Dad. At this time, Trunks, who came out with Vegeta, shouted loudly. After a year of training in the Spirit Time Chamber, Trunks had long been accustomed to calling Vegeta this way. Shut up, Trunks. Don't speak to me in such an arrogant tone in the future. I am now a second stage Super Saiyan. You should know how terrible this power is. Vegeta said angrily, then turned to Cell and said, okay, you can absorb No. 18. I will never stop you. And anyone who disturbs you from absorbing number 18 is also my enemy. Hearing this, Trunks dared not move anymore, and Cell showed a triumphant smile on his face. Whoosh! A figure suddenly appeared in the field. Fortunately, it's not too late. Vegeta, Trunks, long time no see. The figure that appeared was Son Goku, who teleported directly from King Kai's planet back to Earth, but he directly grasped Vegeta's breath to teleport, who made him the strongest at the moment. Kakarot, you still remember to come back, you are not dead yet. But you came back too late, leave these androids to me, they are not my opponents at all. Haha. Vegeta was extremely happy, he knew that Sun Wukong had only reached the third stage of Super Saiyan, he finally narrowed the gap between him and Sun Wukong. Vegeta, what are you doing? Why don't you kill Cell? King Kai told me that this guy has killed tens of millions of humans. Now you want him to devour no. 18. That's the woman I reserved. Sun Wukong was extremely upset. Vegeta had become more powerful and arrogant again. Even he would need some effort to defeat the perfect Cell. If he evolved into Lightning Cell, which was comparable to Super Saiyan 2, he might not be his opponent. This was a time bomb. Those who play with fire will get burned. Hi, lazily, we finally meet. You won't kill me again this time, will you? In the dream, I let you kill me many times. Sun Wukong smiled gently at number 18 who was lying on the ground and had lost his ability to fight. During the time on King Kai's planet, although he was fighting against the virus every day, he also used the dream entering method to enter No 18's dream. In order to get number 18 before Krillin. Sun Wukong also fought hard. In the dream, Sun Wukong accompanied number 18 every day, letting her kill him countless times, which reduced her resentment towards him. From the fact that the android did not kill people wantonly after he came back to life, it can be seen that his influence on number 18 is still very large, but now Vegeta's actions are likely to make all these efforts in vain, which makes Sun Wukong a little angry. Really pig-like teammates, there are many opponents in the universe, is it necessary to be like Cell? Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.